You're playing Magic Necro.
Yeah, I'm playing Magic Necro. I am interrupter.
Ah, man, that sucks.
Magic and Necro. Are you wearing MA as well? Like MA EC, or are you guys not running Master Architect in group?
So I changed skill. So we have a progression. They want me to use the reanimation.
Okay, that's fine. What Clive was asking is, what item sets are you running?
Wait, it didn't hurt her.
What item sets are you wearing?
Right there, I'm using MA and Mother Server.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be paying careful attention to your Magicka bar to see if you can sustain that setup. Might be worth doing False God and MA. Especially as a Necro with not a lot of sources of mag return.
Yeah. So you're right, it's kinda hard to sustain, so
Off the bat, you're not casting enough blast bones.
yeah.
Even during jumps, it's worth.
So the thing here is,
and you're out of magic.
yeah, it just ran out really fast though.
You also casted shield too much. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. First and foremost, you definitely should use False God MA, like if you can. That and for jumps, for his 90%, 75, 50, 25 jumps, I don't think you should shield it unless there's a cone on you, or if there's a Films Bomb. I think you should just learn to block it. The damage it does is very minimal as long as you block them, and there's no need to waste Magicka for a shield on them.
Okay. So the thing is, we're just progressing. I'm still learning, so
yeah.
So yeah.
But it's definitely good to get into the habit of doing what's efficient.
So
I think for the 90% jump especially, it's definitely okay to not shield because there are no minis up, you know? Like Ultis isn't around, Films isn't up, and your healers hopefully should be healing you. So all that you need defensively should just be to block when the boss lands. You won't be hit by anything else.
In general, for all your DDs, y'all could pay more attention to when spheres spawn, as for about 4 GCDs, everyone was hitting Ulms when he was invulnerable.
So, I don't know what happened there. Did you just die?
That might have been a cone. Might have been a cone and kite.
Rewind, enhance, zoom. Okay, yeah, it was a cone. So they gotta block the initial cone, and then they gotta, the person who doesn't have it, people who don't have it should get out of the cone.
This is just a really unfortunate spot and really unfortunate person to get the cone.
Yeah.
Like this kite, this is usually honestly a 5% chance of happening. Usually, I wouldn't really count on it happening every run, but you should be prepared for it.
So I am interrupter, so I'm doing heavy attack, so I'm right out of.
You also need to pop your potion. Your potion, you're not using.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to me there.
At least the Lothis cleave looks nice. The stream's pausing a lot, but that might just be my internet.
Yeah, it's good for me.
It's good for me.
I'll just deal with it.
Shit.
Ooh, that was a very dangerous move there.
Yeah. I was like Michael Jackson, so.
Definitely over damaging Lothis. He's going to die. Yeah, you ideally want to kill the mini bosses at 3 minutes or just before then, to give yourself more time before their next spawn. As in, you don't want like 3 instances of killing Lothis where you could have just had 2 because you killed him too early.
Yeah, if you kill him too early, it's gonna mess up
yeah,
timings
he had like
and
45
mechanics.
seconds there left.
It just makes it a little harder for the off tank too, in some ways.
We did this like we're just like rotation, like we kill first Lothi, then Stam. We're like that.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know how busy your off tank is, but if he or she would be able to keep an eye on the health percentages, since he's or they, whoever, whatever it is, sorry,
It's right here. It's right here, my friend.
Okay. But since the off tank is always with the minis, if they can keep an eye on the health percentages and sort of guide the raid that way, you know, Lothis is really low, he has 45 seconds, everybody hit the boss, that sort of thing. Or especially Lothis is about to cone block, or just say cone in 3, 2, 1, or something like that. You'll have fewer cone deaths and can help manage your time more efficiently on the bosses. But I don't know how helpful that would be if your comms are cluttered or something, or...
I do agree with Style on the Lothis part. I think it's a really, really big payoff to be adaptable and dynamic in VAS. Having a static kill order in VAS just means that if anything is thrown off, you don't know what to do. So being able to adjust your strategy to say, okay, let's peel off Lothis, let's not hit him until it's time to actually kill him before he enrages. I think learning that skill for everyone will be really helpful.
So what access time we had to kill him?
You see that?
Just shy of 3 minutes on all the minis.
3 minutes?
You see that timer on the upper right corner of your screen, right? The St. Lothis, St. Films. Yeah, around 250 to 3 minutes. You want them done. For both Films and Lothis. But it also depends on your group's DPS and how many people are dying. You might have to focus them at an earlier point, particularly Films.
Something that I've noticed really early is that people try to stay in their kite lanes as much as possible, but I think it's worth noting that kite lanes are a guideline, not like a law you follow. You only need to be in your lanes when you're kiting, and most of the time you can just be wherever you want, as long as you're in the correct position when you're kiting.
Okay.
That's all.
I don't know if my computer just recorded this completely, so...
That channeled acceleration right there, you only want to do that before or just after a protector, never while Ohms is vulnerable. It wastes GCDs.
So this part, we just burn Found, we just throw all ultimates when he's down over here. When he just jump, we just go to the protector and attack the protector back. I don't know, is that good?
This is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Depends on your group DPS. Some groups focus on starting at 2 minutes. Some progression groups start at 1 minute 30, like you guys are right now. Some groups just put 1 DPS forever on them, or 2 DPS forever on them, and that helps a bit later on if you need to focus them.
Felm's jump landed weird on the left.
No.
I think I died there. So...
Never jump. Never jump.
Never jump?
Never jump.
No. You lost your momentum and you couldn't move fast enough out of someone else's meteor, and as a result you died. I mean, you can sprint jump if you really need the momentum, but usually the case is you don't.
I am gonna say your off-tank's actually doing a pretty decent job at stacking them.
I agree.
And he's moving appropriately. A lot of mistakes off-tanks do is they try to stack them always at the wrong times, if that makes sense. Like, you shouldn't be trying to stack Lothis when Films is on you, that's all know. But he's doing a good job,
Looking at your group DPS, yeah, it's totally fine to do what you're doing, just drop ults on Films. That's fine.
That is fine?
Lothis could be peeled off, though. And you can exchange the Lothis damage for Films damage, even.
So I throw my Colossal there for the more MA, so...
interrupt. And
Are you
for,
aware of the
thanks for the
interrupt
follow,
timer in the top
Kato.
right in your Asylum status panel?
Wait, I couldn't hear you. You can say that again?
So in the top right, where you have your status panel,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the red one. It's either the red one or the white one. It counts to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you can see how it says 11 seconds right there. That is when
Yep.
you need to be on Lothis and pulsing him to interrupt him, because he can queue up his interrupt anytime past 11 seconds. It might be delayed because it's one of his lowest priority animations, but he will do it past that point.
Yeah,
It's
I think.
Sorry, go on.
And I was just gonna say the video just only have 31 seconds. I think my computer didn't record it completed.
That's fine.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It's also on the right side of your crosshair. It says both 4.
Yeah, your UI is a bit
Yeah, I need help.
jumbled.
I'm new over here on PC, so
Okay, well,
I
yeah,
used to play a lot on PS4, so
that's fine.
Welcome to PC. Like
Yeah.
on a more personal opinion, I do think that it is really helpful to have the least amount of visual clutter on your screen, that being your UI. So I think something you can do before raid is definitely take the time to make sure your UI is clean and uncluttered, and you can see what you need to and only what you need to.
Oh god.
Okay.
I also posted something for you in general chat explaining the timers for the add-ons, so you know what to do or what to look out for. Clive is right. Typically after 11 seconds on the interrupt timer, that's when you start watching out, but typically he does it around 11 and 12 seconds or 18 seconds, depending on what happens.
Alright. Cool, thank you.
The idea is that he doesn't let out a single bolt, because that, like,
Yeah, that delays the
tiny
next one.
portion of damage is usually enough to kill someone when it's paired with another mechanic.
Okay.
Alright.
In that run we did the no rage achievement.
Yeah, you're always going to get that the way you're doing it, because you are over damaging the minis.
Alright.
But ideally you're like towing the line between them and raging and them dying.
What's the progression for? Is it just for clearing it? Have you guys cleared it?
Yeah, like 5 times already.
Okay, so what's the goal? Just cleaner?
Immortal Redeemer.
Immortal Redeemer, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're practicing, so
Definitely look to limit test then. See what you can and can't do, and then go from there. Because you're gonna start dying until you start living. You're not gonna get IR if you don't find out like what will kill you and what won't, where you can take risks and where you can't.
So yeah, that's our progression for now.
It's looking good
Yeah,
in terms of
fine.
damage. At
Off
least.
tanking is fine. Off tanking is usually the problem there, but off tanking seems fine from my perspective. I don't know if the Styles caught anything on the healer, and it's kind of hard to see the Kai healer group healing, but there was a weird jump, I think.
Yes, sometimes the Kai healers just die. I don't know what's happening to them. So
which one, group healer or tank healer?
The tank healer. The tank healer is just the AOE that he throw, the electric one. Just kill him. Yeah, he dies to that.
So that can be avoided with more movement speed and just running out of the AoE, or start running out of the AoE before it lands. I know a lot of kite healers will sort of stand there in one place, wait till it lands, and then start moving. But at that point, it's too late, and you get your resources drained and you take damage. So you have to watch for when the boss does its animation. He'll stand back up on its hind legs and spread his wings, and he'll spit out the meteor. And like a second after that animation is when you can start moving. And you can completely run out of it and avoid taking any damage and avoid any resource drain.
So the thing is, the tank healer's a Necro.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's alright.
So you have 3 Horn and 3 Colossus in your fight?
No, 2.
Okay,
Only
still
2.
fine.
Yeah. I'm the only one with the Necro DPS, and the other one is the healer.
I would recommend 3 Necros, but if you're just going for IR and like trying to get it on your main characters or something, that's fine. But I think you'll have more vuln where it's needed with 3 Necros, just because of ult gen timing.
Yeah, especially if you're focusing the minis to play it safer. I think 3 would be good too.
But yeah, if it's just something that you want to get on your main characters and, you know, you don't want to have 3 Necros, then that's totally fine. But
the thing is, I would talk to them, but the thing is, Latinos are really hard to talk. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to listen.
That's a lot of groups. It's whatever.
I mean, a big part of being in a raid core is that everyone's adaptive, is receptive to feedback, and being able to change what they can. So
Yeah.
you'll succeed as long as everyone is malleable.
Different discussion there.
Yeah, so that's my part.
Alright, does anyone else have any videos you want to share? Yeah, of you, it doesn't matter if it's tanking, DPSing, or healing, or raid group. If you want any advice on anything, whether it's a trial, or a dungeon, or dummy parse.
I've got a Godslayer VOD if there's nothing else. A Godslayer prog VOD.
Where?
On YouTube, but it's low quality, I think.
Oh, someone PM you a Godslayer pod?
No, of mine.
Oh, yours.
If you don't get anyone else that has a video prepped.
Shit.
Could watch any professor's video, really.
Well, is there any subject or area that people want to learn about? Whether it's a trial or a role?
So it's not a video, but I do have a question regarding VCR portals, particularly hard mode. As a macro, what would you recommend being my rotation downstairs?
Honestly, I think as a macro, you probably duo portaling, right?
Yeah,
If that's the case, then I don't think you need to be too efficient at it, as it's duo portal and you complete it in record time with another DD with you. Just drop a Destro on one, drop your dots on the other one, skull the other one. There's not really much a Necro can do unless you do like a dot rotation, like with consuming on your bar already.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else curious about anything? This is a really good opportunity to ask about your role, dummy
Oh,
parse.
I have a question,
Yeah, okay.
or more like I guess a subject for you guys to touch on is I got a Nightblade healer that I really like because of all the debuffs and buffs that it has, but I'm just kind of willy-nilly in it right now on my own. And if you guys have any input as far as tips, tricks, you know, things with the Nightblade healer, I'd love to hear it.
This is for trials or dungeons? Or...
For trials, yeah.
Oh, okay, well. What exactly? Just general advice?
Yeah, just general advice. I haven't done any trials yet. I've been banging out dungeons, trying to get used to it, and I really like it. Although I'm used to a Templar healer, which has all kinds of fail safes. I'm limited on my heals, obviously, as a Nightblade, but I feel like I'm getting it down to where I don't have to rely on Breath of Life type stuff and things like that. But yeah, so I just want to hear general, any tips, any advice or whatever. Rocking a Nightblade healer.
I know Style has a good RO Jor Nightblade build on her YouTube. You can check out.
Yeah, that's
an
kind
old
of
one.
dead now because the set was changed.
Okay.
Well, like key skills, I
Well,
guess.
yeah, it's Well, if you're just wanting to use it, you know, for fun, and you're not worrying about sweating over group comp or anything, then honestly, just I know this is gonna sound really lame, but just run what's most comfortable for you. You know.
Yeah.
The like, if you want to have minor vol on stuff, you could have Lotus Fin on your bar. If you
Right.
like, you have your class burst heal, you can use that as well. If you want to heal and try to do damage, you could run sap like in trash. I mean, there's so much you can do, and it just depends on, I guess, your comfort with the class and the group that you're
Right.
running with, their level of skill, and
Yeah, for sure.
the content that you're doing as well.
I do run Lotus Fan. I like it. I do the sap. I forgot what that one's called. But the burst class heal, is that the healthy something or other?
Healthy offering, or Malevolent offering, healthy offering, swap morph. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, okay. So that one I haven't played with yet.
I think
But is
that
it,
heal looks scarier than it actually is. Like, it costs health, but if you have your hots down around you, then it's not a really big deal. It's actually one of the strongest burst heals in the game, like class burst
yeah,
heals.
yeah, it totally looked like it. Okay, well, I just wanted to get an idea if there was any tricks to it, but it sounds like it's basically like I just got to keep playing with it, and the more comfortable I get, the more I can try going into trials and then hopefully vet trials and stuff too with it. But I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
And thank you.
any healer class can heal any content in the game. I know a lot of groups like to limit the, you know, classes their healers and tanks come on. But if you're just in a group doing stuff for fun and you're not too fussed about group comp, then don't be worried about Nightblade healing. Like, they're really strong healers. They are a lot of fun, as you say.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else have a video / question? Or not a question, but like what anything you guys are curious about? Like role or content?
Oh, somebody told me a set for Asylum with the Necro is a MA false god, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Clive or Hibio.
Yeah, but MA body pieces or jewelry?
You definitely want False God double barred because your back bar dots are really expensive.
No.
So MA weapon.
So jewelry
And Colossus front bar.
Yeah.
Alright. I got those. Thank you.
Well, Clive, I guess we're gonna watch your Godslayer prod.
Or we could watch something from Liko.gg. Pull up any clip from it.
I mean, it's like, is anyone here like interested in, I don't know, DPS healing? Give us something. Or we just watch anything, I guess, for like the next 30 minutes.
Bruh.
Hello.
I want to know how to be a better Stam DK, bruh.
Okay, here's what you do. You
don't play it. I know.
No, what? I was gonna say that. What are you talking about? No.
Oh,
No.
I'm kidding. What would you do?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I would log onto the Stam DK, race change it, and then play a Mag DK. Just fucking around.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just kidding.
I get the same advice on MagDK.
So
the Foss, I'm playing like pretty high. I'm at 83k on live and 88 on the PTS at this time. So I'm pretty aware, but I'm still not hitting as close to like the top 4. So I'm like, yeah.
So the thing about Stam DK is, like, I absolutely love Stam DK DPS, but I haven't played it in a long time because it just, I mean, like, what number are you trying to hit as a Stam DK?
Shoot, like on the
90K?
PTS, maybe 90, and I know how to get 90. I'll have to remove the back bar bow to a fucking great sword or battle axe, whatever you call it. Yeah, because of the empowerment. I know that.
I know one of the other professors here got a 108k on Stam DK on PTS. So that's more than 90k plus is more than possible next patch.
Yeah.
Are you looking for like rotation advice or?
Probably. I mean, I have all the sets. Like I have most of the sets already geared out.
You have like a video of your rotation, if possible.
Right now, no, I don't. I'd have to create it and then upload it somewhere around here. I'm currently using the Masters dual wield with the Maelstrom bow, and they're all perfected, perfected rally, and sometimes deadly, sometimes advancing. It just depends on how I feel like I want to go about it. And then if I do advancing, I do double dual wield. So with Black Rose Prison, daggers in the back bar with infused on each.
It's kind of tough to give like advice without actually seeing your rotation.
Well, I would stick with AY and really not deadly AY for Stam DK.
Why?
Deadly's just not really worth it on Stam DK. It's more so worth it on Stam Flyer. I don't know why a lot of people think Deadly is going to be good on Stam Crow, Stam DK, or whatever, but mathematically, it's just going to be better on Stam Flyer, above all else.
A lot of the value of Deadly shows in Dummy, and not necessarily in Raid. Reliquant is a consistent source of damage, very heavy damage, that you're going to have at all times if you weave correctly. Deadly is only when you are having uptime on your spammable, being rapid strikes or jabs. Rapid strikes in a lot of cases is worse than your class spammable as well in Raid.
But it empowers the dots, doesn't it?
It's harder to weave for Mercilok procs.
What empowers dots? Rapid strikes?
Deadly.
No.
I thought it like gives 20% boost to all like dots and all that stuff, or maybe I'm confusing it for the Maelstrom.
Okay, sorry, I thought you meant... Never mind. Yeah, it does, but it's just still not as good as Stam Flyer, from what we've tested.
Cool. Alright, so deadly. Because what I do is, and this is just information that I kind of think about now, when I run advancing Yokeda jewelry with 2 body pieces and then the perfected rally, and then double dual wield, so that way it never falls off. Like if I go dual wield on the front bar and then Maelstrom bow or whatever on the back bar, any type of bow, it falls off if I'm using the static rotation that I do. So I have to run double dual wield, so it never goes out if I'm still hitting the target. That's what I realized. But it's so hard because you're running 2 heavy pieces, so you have to be in a really good sustained kind of situation. So yeah. And I think it does hit harder. It just, you have to be able to keep those 10 stacks and keep sustain up. That's what I see.
I would put it on weapons, not 2 body. For A1.
Yeah, but let me see. So, like, if I have double, like, axe and dagger, advancing, and jewelry, it's on the front bar. But if I go to back bar and I'm there for more than 5 seconds, it's gone. I have to reapply until get 10. No,
I don't see a case where you would be on your back bar for longer than 5 seconds.
5 seconds. It's too long.
You should look to change your rotation if that's happening.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I could run. I'd also run Zogman, and I only run 3 skills in the back part then. But typically I run 4, and that's it. And even then, I light attack through each weave, so that's when the 5 seconds comes in.
So Hoven's kind of trash on PTS.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'll just try the AY rally, and then just practice it for a bit.
Yeah, it hits harder. I know it does. It just, can I keep it up?
You can keep it up.
With like the jewelry and the weapons?
Yes.
The 10 stacks?
Yep.
Yes.
How?
Be faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you're probably just weaving too slow if you're losing it on your back bar.
Yeah.
So like only proc 3 skills instead of 4?
You can do 4. You can do the skill that you're about to do before you go to your back bar. You can light attack after and then bar swap. That's some Liko tech. It allows you to preserve your AY for longer.
Yeah. So I've been playing around with the rotation like that, but it never quite hits as hard as the static one I do. Maybe because
we're just coming down to practice.
Right, it does. That's cool. So what would I run with it? Jewelry, weapons, rarely perfected, and maybe Selines? With back bar, what, Black Rose or Maelstrom, or I don't know.
On a dummy, I think Black Rose back bar will give you the most benefit, but in raid it's usually Marcilok.
Yeah.
As your monster home?
Yeah.
But in the dummy it would be Selines then?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, y'all. Food is calling. I appreciate it.
Yep, if you get a video, we should post it.
I will. Thinking of us.
Anyone else? Got anything? Do you wanna, like, I don't know, anything you're curious about?
It's me again. But
Hello.
I'm having trouble to not getting 80k with my Mac Necro. I'm struggling so freaking hard.
On the dummy? Can you stream it?
Yep. Oh no.
Why?
I don't have a video, right?
Stream it in Discord. Are you in the game?
No, I'm not in the game.
Okay, well, you could stream it if you get in the game. And you can watch you parse on the dummy. Is there anyone here curious about tanking?
Healing?
DDing.
Hello?
Yes. Yeah, what's up? Hello.
Yes. Hello. Do you hear me well?
What?
Is it good? Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we can
my
hear you.
English is not very good. So my question is about tanking,
Okay.
about AS. I'm off tank,
Okay.
and we are trying to do Immortal Redeemer, and
Okay.
I'm currently having Ebonite. I don't know how to say this, and Worm.
Yes, I've been warned. Yes.
And my question is about the monster set, because I tried several things, and I tried and I look for a lot of logs, but I didn't find like a really good option. Like I tried Earthgore, I tried the Ring of Speed. I don't know the name in English.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I get it.
I tried the monster set from the prison, Imperial Prison.
Lord Warden?
Lord Warden, yes, Lord Warden, sorry. Well, but I never find like the good possibility. So what else can I try, maybe?
It's either gonna be a damage monster set, or personally I like Earthward in there.
Yeah, I think out of the three things that you mentioned, if your speed is an issue, then Earthcore all the way.
Because
if you need it for like a personal heal for yourself, especially, it could come in handy. Or for the group.
it also eliminates Lotus AoEs.
I think I should prefer something for the group, because I don't have so much problem to be alive.
Yeah, it's tricky because I would guess that one of your healers is running Symphony.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Another warden got Symphony and SPC, yes, Spell Power Cure. So he has to have I don't remember the hostel, maybe something you put on the the skill that consumes some health.
Blood altar.
From yes, altar, yes, blood altar. So I can't use Lady Thorn, so I don't have so much possibility to help the group, and I'm trying to search something else, but
Earthcore can be really useful for the group as long as you have a way to, proc it on the group.
Yes, I'm warden, so I have.
Yeah.
But I check all my logs, and only 3k health on one DD from all the fights, and we are during the fight like 6 minutes 30, 7 minutes. So in 7 minutes only 3k health. It's not a lot. So, but yeah, I don't find any other possibility. In fact, maybe trying something like powerful ESO. I saw some logs with this, but
you said it's a 37-minute fight.
6 minutes 30. Yes,
6
7
minutes. I was like 37. Whew.
Oh no. 6 minutes 30, and
Gotcha.
between 6 and 7. And
fight time.
Yeah.
We kill only one time Lotus and Felms, but yes.
Yeah, you can try
Uh,
Powerful Assault if you want, for sure, if Sustain isn't an issue. I'm guessing your group healer is running Spell Power Cure and probably Hollow if you're in Worm.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, try Powerful Assault. As for the Monster Helm, it's tough to pick one that's really helpful for the group in Asylum because there's so much movement. You know,
Yes.
for example, Sentinel of Rikugoms is probably not very ideal because DDs are running around all the time. So I think, I don't know, I think Earthcore might be the best choice, to be honest.
Here's what I would do
Okay, yeah.
if I were in your position, right? There's 3 options for you for monster sets. First, keep
Mhm.
Earthcore, because
Yes.
it's still helpful at times. Maybe
Yes.
you'll fuck up. Who knows? You're going for IR, right?
Yeah.
You know, you never know. Or maybe you'll proc on somebody at the right time in the code.
Yes, maybe yes.
And it can also clear away Lotus Poison AoE, a Lotus Poison
Yeah.
AoE. Second
Yes,
option
oh.
is a damage set. Like, I don't know, I hate to say this, but like Maud Inferno. I mean, it's just free damage. Something like that.
I didn't think to that. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, why not?
Third option, Lady Thorn, which you kind of mentioned. The thing with Lady Thorn, though, in this
Yes.
case, I would just only proc it when Lotus cones or something. On Lotus. So there's less chance of, you know. Also, Lady Thorn goes through Olms's invulnerability. So
Yeah.
even if he's invulnerable during jumps, he can proc Major Maim on him. So that will also help
Yes.
you get a IR run.
What does
potentially.
Vicosa do now?
Vicosa is still the same. Next patch, they're gonna make it do Major Cowardice, I believe.
Because I know that people used to run Vicosa on Lothus, you know, just before it would cone, or the boss just before it would do some
Yes.
hard-hitting
Yes.
mechanic.
Lady
I
Thorn will
got
be more effective in terms of damage
But
reduced. Not
our
next
main
patch.
tank already put Lady Thorn, and so he use Blood Altar, and our healer use Blood Altar, so it will be, yes, maybe too much.
No.
Because I'm a warden, so I can't use the Guild Mage skill.
You can't or can?
Can't. I can't because I'm warden, so for my major resolve, I use the I don't know the name in English,
Well,
but
Balance.
Yeah, balance or Ice
yes,
Fortress.
I can't use
Yes.
Yes, I use Ice Fortress.
Yes. And thanks for subbing results. Your main tank doesn't have to do Blow Altar for proccing Lady Thorn. They can do balance. Are they a DK? Dragon Knight?
No, he's a Necromancer.
Okay, well he can still do balance. I mean, it's up to you guys. Those are 3 options.
Okay. I haven't seen to that, but I will speak with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And sorry for my English.
Your English is fine.
You're fine, yeah, you're good.
Say parfait.
I have a question, Professor Nephis.
Oh shit. Hello.
What's up, dude?
Hello, Annie.
So,
what's your question?
I finally broke 20k DPS, dude, but it seems like I can't get higher than that. I'm running 2-handed resto on a Stamplar, and I'm kind of having a identity crisis here because I don't know if I'm a healer or a DPS. What do I do?
I would not use Impen in PvE.
Wait, how'd you know I was using Impen, dude? What the fuck?
Okay.
Wait, what am I supposed to use on a Stamplar, though, on a real note?
Okay, you be doing 5-piece Reliquin, 5-piece Deadly Strikes.
Deadly?
Okay. Single target ones.
And guessing I'm using dual wield and bow, right?
Yeah. Next patch you can do dual wield. I mean, dual wield bow and dual wield right now is pretty close to each other. So,
really?
Yeah.
Wait, so, okay. Well, why would I have dual wield on both bars? Am I using like Master's dual wield or something, or?
Like Black Rose dual wield on back bar, something like that.
I feel like a setup like that would only work in a pure single target parse fight.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, bow would give more AoE, And cool. All right, well, thanks, dudes.
Alright, dude.
I'm fucking watching your stream and decided to come by and tell you that I broke 20k, dude.
Congrats.
Getting
Now you need to get actual
21K,
PvE gear.
True. Alright, man. Fucking let me know when you want a PvP.
Alright, bye.
Bye.
Anyway, does anyone have any actual questions for PvE? That does not involve infant gear? Or, the rest of the staff too, Interbuild?
I have a quick follow-up, I guess, for Styles.
Okay.
Your 2 recommended sets, just in general, overall. Obviously, there's going to be situational stuff, but your 2 recommended sets for the Nightblade healer.
It would depend on what your healer partner is running, and in some cases, what your tanks are running. If one of them is running a sustain set, like Worm or something, but I would say Spell Power Cure.
Or you can give me more than 2, but whatever.
Yeah. So Spell Power Cure. Let's talk Magicka comp first of all right now. So Spell Power Cure, Worm and/or Hollow Fang.
Okay.
Yorvald's Guidance, Roaring Opportunist. In some cases, you could run Zen or Martial Knowledge. For example, in Asylum Sanctorium, a front kiter would use that setup, or can use that setup.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you have a Stam comp, you could use Hairseen.
Right.
You could use Powerful Assault in some instances. There's just so much. There really is. It just depends. It really just depends.
Yeah, when you think about it, there
Whenever
really is.
people ask, oh, what should I wear on my healer? This is a team thing. Communicate with the other supports and with your DDs and see what they need.
Right. Okay. I gotcha. Well, thanks, you guys. I definitely appreciate everything you guys do for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is anyone interested in... Or is anyone here going for Godslayer or Griffinheart anytime soon?
Me.
Same.
Which one? Godslayer or Griffinheart?
Godslayer.
Okay. Clive, bring out the Godslayer video.
It's on the way, it's on the way.
Okay, we'll watch Clive's stream, or whatever. Or if his internet's a bit slow, then we can just have the link. I can stream it.
You want me to link the YouTube video? It'll be low quality, or I can just stream the...
You can stream it,
Raw vlog.
I guess go over what you're thinking, what you DPS.
And here we go. This is my first time leading a raid, so a lot of the times my calls may be a little bit off, but we'll see. Well, first time leading, but this is our 12th run, I think. How in depth do you want me to go over, like my thought process as I DD?
Yeah, just narrate. Be Morgan Clive man.
I'd be pausing a lot. Ice Room Trash, you proc Proxy Det every single time a new wave comes out. It'll get full value as long as you proc it early enough. I'm running Reaper's Mark because no other NB is, and it's always a solid burst damage in Trash and on bosses if you can fit it in your bars. Just mark the first thing you see because that's usually just going to be whatever's taking the most damage and what will die first. As an NB, you have to really get into trash packs and be at risk, because Sap Essence, your spammable, is short-ranged, but that's fine. As long as you're block weaving in trash, you don't really take much damage. Cricket and Slim. Let me know if the audio is too loud.
That's fine.
That's good.
You can be a bit extra and block weave, or you can just block in trash and use your sap spammable. I've died like twice to this cat, so try to not die to that.
Imagine dying to this cat in 2020.
Gotta wait till
yeah, I can. I used to be really unafraid of it, and then I died twice to it in a row.
Okay. Yeah.
Young and Royo down the stairs. On this trash, as long as you have a Warhorn and a Colossus prepped, you can kind of play it little scaredy cat mode, and everyone can lightning heavy it, and it's fine.
One cat. I got a will and a cat. I got both.
You ideally want to kill the two-handers before they jump, which we did. The rest of the trash pack's slow. Come down and kill the cats. But if you want speed on that trash pack, you go in and start sapping. Someone's probably gonna die, but it's faster.
Gotta proc and go things.
Depends on the tanks.
I gotta get right up in there.
Coming down to like the bottom of the stairs is really, really dangerous and limits where I can put the cats.
As an aside, I think Medusa is Biss on Loki and Navi, not so much Yuln, because you need a shield on Loki and you need sap as well as siphoning on Navi. The extra bar space for Medusa allows you to fit those on without removing inner light.
Also, I bring everything really close to stairs, so that's...
Also, Sorora is actually pretty good on Locusties if you can sustain it.
I came down a little to combat prayer.
You're not ice cages though.
No. I think as Cage, even as Cage is fine. Actually, the reason I tried it was because Brennan did it in Cage, and was still matching my DPS. I was in False God at the time.
Somebody got really low, so I got scared.
3, 2, 1.
Big part of DPS is making sure you have a good opener. That is, start with a Destro, lead with Orb, then do your dots.
Yeah,
You want to be spammabling as the Colossus and Horn are out so that you make the most use out of those debuffs.
They just come and stand right at the bottom of the stairs. Should not do that.
They also could be slipping.
Tomb 1, second one exit, first one middle.
Rest of this until ad phase is just casual DPS. I can cheat a little bit because I'm calling Horns and Colossus and I know when that burst damage is coming out. I can lay my dots when it happens and I get most DPS. Easy.
Wow.
That's cheating.
Very important part of Locustie's ad phase that a lot of people get wrong is you need to constantly be readjusting and angling yourself so that your dots are hitting the most Storm Atros possible. Colossus. You'll notice in the top of the Hodor list that I'm pretty far up in terms of AoE because I'm constantly moving to place my AoEs to hit the most Storm Atros. It's a second per second thing, you can't like ever falter like when you want to
Kill the middle ones here.
place your dots. You want this phase to be over as soon as possible so that you don't kill ads while Loki's down. Unless you have really bad RNG, you should always be aiming to hit at least 3 Storm Atros with your dots and the most out of your orb as well, because it travels really slow, but it's always going to hit at least 3.
Clive.
Really helpful if everyone memorizes their spot for Loki Beam, obviously. Everyone knows where it stands. No mess ups happen.
Slam on
Chair Slam on Dragonlands. This is a really big mistake right here. I have enough for a Destro if I just wait like 12 seconds. I endcap instead. This is really bad, never do that. If you have over 140 ult and you have an endcapped, just save for a Destro.
Tomb 1. Second one exit. Go in.
The rest of Loki is just AFK until ad phase DPSing. Jessica. Do you want me to just skip Yolnikrin, Neff? Because we do a portal skip. And Yolnikrin just Yolnikrin.
I mean, Yolnikrin though.
Spread your dots. Be careful
Whatever
with
you want.
exit Atros. On static clears, we're gonna start on entrance.
Yeah, you're such a good Rayleigh, Clive.
Well, thanks. I can call Horns and Colossus. Young Horn, Royo, Colossus, these two.
I'm stuck by the door.
I'm grabbing your...
Someone's stuck.
Unfortunate.
The middle one for last. Kill
I
these
grabbed
3 by exit. What's up?
No, just Young was like, I'm stuck on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what. You can see his
Look, you
shadow.
can see him.
Knocked back.
He's
He's
inside
behind
the
the
ice.
wall.
Bruh.
I'm
That
stuck by
sucks.
the door.
I'm grabbing your.
Did he die? Or did he
Leave
get
the
put
middle
back
one
in?
for last. Kill these.
He
He
got
got ported back in.
Okay.
Okay, I got it back.
You can kill the middle one with the bone.
True. We'll kill it right here as well.
You have one.
We have plenty of time, Slam.
Okay,
Got it.
Jer Slam on Dragon Lance.
So as you know, a lot of groups have difficulty with Locus's hard mode, particularly ad phase. What's the biggest DPS gain?
Biggest DPS gain for sure is making sure, 1, you have a horn ticking, and 2, making sure every DPS is angling their dots. I'll go back and just show you an example of that. Right here, what you should do is put your orb through all 3 of these, and then go to the second one, like from the front. Put your dots angling towards the third one. The third one being the one I'm closest to. The whole point of AoEing on Locust's ad phase isn't to use your AoE skills, it's to get as much cleave as possible, because every bit of damage matters. You have like, what, 25 seconds to kill, what, like 12 mil health worth of Atros. Young Horn, Ryo Colossus, these two. You always want to make sure that if you're putting your dot somewhere, it's going to last for like the full duration, or it's getting efficiency on 2 things. Otherwise it's a bit wasted if you just drop a ground dot on 1 thing.
I'm stuck by the door.
I'm grabbing your.
No, fine.
Leave the middle one for last. Kill the... Usually you can leave the alone Atros if there's an opportunity to kill multiple. 3 by exit.
Okay, I got it back.
You can kill the middle one with the bone.
True. We'll turn the volume down. I think I'm too loud in the video.
No, it's coming out fine.
Okay. We have plenty of time, so I'll put it back up.
Got it.
Jer Slam on Dragon Lance. I guess the most important part of Loki hard mode is the first ad phase, because that's the most time limited one. On the second one you get a blunt, you get a lot of time, and on the third one you only have to kill 2.
2-1.
I think if groups really need to, you can drop a Colossus, like you can drop 2 Colossuses on big stack and have 1 not on boss. I think the most important part is making sure you kill ads in time. Just sort that out, and then the rest like comes easily. And then obviously there's the coordination for static, but you know, that just comes with time or talent.
2-2.
Might not get a buff. Yeah, I did. Good. Good.
Positioning talent, I guess. We will be skipping to 1.
It would have not been worth it to recast your dots there.
So right here, I didn't think we'd get a breath because the health percentage was getting really low. He was 1% from jumping.
Yeah.
The best play here, if I had known, I would have put down my wall and then kept damaging. But I was expecting him to jump up like right now. But yeah, it's a bit of a loss of damage. Skipping to 1. I guess that's another thing these 2 by entry for damage on single target on these bosses, is making sure you can like spam a bunch of times, I don't know, right before he flies. Like you don't want to be recasting dots and the dragon flies. Like you lose a shitload of DPS doing that. Locust's third phase, you can sack your tank, kill like 2 Atros, and then just chill until the laser comes out. I'm gonna skip forward because that's exactly what we do. It'll be Jer and Royo on Dragonlands. Second hardest part of Loki after ad phase, getting ice positionals right, the beam phase. Once you get those 2 down, you're pretty much guaranteed a deathless clear. It's honestly worth like wiping over and over again to Loki until you get those 2 right.
I wouldn't say guarantee. Some stuff has happened. Shit.
I think yeah.
I have PTSD.
Barring random things happening, random like flame spits and stuff. Once the basics are down, you just have to get the ads down and the ice positionals. We can probably skip like Loki, ads, whatever.
Another important thing as well is during the ad phases just to make sure that your group sticks together.
Oh shit, my
healing.
food was almost done. Oh yeah, for sure. When Style was filling for this group, she yelled at us to stack a little better.
I didn't
And
yell.
Wow.
she yelled at us to stack a little better, and it
Wow.
made
Let's get a good
life
fight
infinitely
time on this one.
easier on ad phase. We kept it even after she was done filling.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's about the Loki ad phase. I'm running at Mag DK with Martial Knowledge and Zen. I don't have orbs or talents to correctly deal AoE damage to them. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting Eruption, my wall, and spamming Engulfing Flames on those ads. My question is if I should put some other dots like Degeneration, Burning Embers on all the Atro so they can get Zen stacks, or should I just
Wait,
AoE them down like a normal DD?
why
May I
don't you
ask
have
why you don't
orbs?
have Talon or orbs?
Yeah.
Because I'm running MK Zen.
You can still run orb. I guess backing up. What's your bar setup?
Whip, Embers, Engulfing, Flames of Oblivion, Inner Light. Then on the back bar I have Eruption, Wall, Channeled, no I mean Barber Trap, Degeneration and Shield.
So you're. Oh, okay. I would remove Inner Light,
Yeah, inner light or
to
flames.
be honest, and have
And
a shield
put Orb?
instead. That way you can have orbs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if I could sustain that.
You, as a Zen DK, are gonna have to heavy attack. That's just part of the job description. Even still, it's worth dropping all your AoEs on ad phase, even though you run out of Magicka, because you'll have your dots down, and that's more worth than having your Magicka available to use your spammable.
I would also use Scalding Rune over Degen. I think it's a little more damage, isn't it? You can also
Yeah, for
pre-buff
sure.
it for when the boss lands.
Scalding Rune is definitely better than Degen, especially on a
Yeah.
Mag DK.
I think I chose Degen because of the sustain, because it was already tough with Scalding Rune.
I guess the only specific DK thing you can do on Loki ad phase is find a stack of ads, like a far stack of ads, and then drop your eruption there. You want it to last as long as possible to get the most value out of it.
Even if there's no buffs like Alkosh on those ads.
Yeah, because your total damage will be higher if
Your
your
sustain will be
eruption is
better.
down for like 18 seconds, rather than being up for 3 seconds on an Alkosh ad. You'll get 15 more ticks of damage across like 2 or 3 ads.
Yeah, but I guess that's the truth. If not, unfortunately, I think I should just burn all my magic and heavy attack instead.
On ad phase, you definitely should. It's worth having no Magicka, but your dots are down. It's
Thank you.
definitely worth.
You can proceed with your video.
For this, we progged Portal Skip for a bit. Took a while to get it consistent, but I think the buffs this patch made it a lot more accessible to a lot of groups. So it was honestly a little bit painless. Just a little bit of time investment. Early spawn.
So I got him.
Never seen that before.
Elsewhere
That was weird.
spawn timer. They spawned early?
Yeah.
That was all they did in Elsewhere.
Huh.
It'll be Young Slim on Dragonlance. I guess rather than talking about the group as a whole, I can just talk about what I'm trying to do as a DD in this fight. Usually I try to lay my dots down as soon as that left statue is alive. It gives almost perfect flow into your rotation as your dots lay. I try to go off of like visual indicators in the arena for when I can pre-buff my dots and stuff. On this breath, we all drop our Destros, we get a Horn, we get a Colossus. Stole this from 4D. It gives us the most time needed to push for the portal skip. I'm playing really scared here because we are full vit. Usually you can weave this thrash pretty well, but I'm blocking it for the entirety of it and missing damage, which you shouldn't do.
Need a bit more damage upstairs.
Definitely wouldn't recommend that. Navi push is at 79%, so rather than reapplying my dots, I'm just spam bowling. When they're stacked, Jer and Icky. There's a risk here to playing really far up, as if the Will or Fury turns, like at a bad angle, then you just get clipped and die. But it's a risk that you have to take if you want to burn these odds fast. Watch the cleaves. Definitely worth just getting in there, block weaving, and hoping to God you don't die. You guys know.
Pins in 5. Pins in 3. After this heavy, come together.
It'll be Young Slam on Dragonlance.
Pins in 5.
We need to push to 70% before Portal comes up, so that the next Portal phase starts and they're still down there, which means we skip the second Portal phase. All ults are dropped. I'm trying to DPS as hard as I can. I still block the entirety of that Thrash because I am a bitch. When you get it.
Careful,
you guys can come up anytime.
Execute, please.
And we're good. Just regular DPSing for the next 6%. All the worry is pretty much gone at this point. Progging Portal skip is just that first 40%. He's pushed. When they're stacked, Icky Colossus.
I got the Fury, not the Will.
Turns out ad phase is a lot easier when all 8 DDs are upstairs. I actually think it's worth progging a portal skip in a regular Slam on Dragonlance. Like everyone in any Godslayer prog. And I will say the damage minimum is not actually that high to do this successfully. On the push just a little bit so that Royo can go down at a good time.
I think that's debatable for a lot of groups.
I think if you're pursuing a title, it's always good to limit tests, and one such limit test is this portal skip.
But
I think it's worth aiming for.
Yeah, but typically when you get to the end with full vid, people play really nervously, and your damage falls quite a bit in most progression groups.
This is true, and this is also the case for me. My damage certainly is falling. So yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I mean, you should definitely aim for it.
Cricket Royo? Yeah. You guys can go down ASAP. He's pushed in 2%. He's actually right here for this ad phase, the 40% ad phase. 2 DDs save a Destro, and the rest push Navi. 6 Destros on Navi so that we push him before he does his Soul Tear. If that happens, it's usually really bad for any group, so the idea is to push him before he does that, and then 2 Destros to guarantee that we can still kill these ads before Naventas enrages them.
I got the Will off you.
Watch the cleaves here. I know I was preaching go in, risk your life to do damage. However, we are 36-36, and I am playing like a bitch.
You know,
just watch out for melee. Okay.
Pins in 2 come together.
I'm not gonna ask because I don't want spoilers. I was gonna ask if you got it or not, but don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a statue skip, young.
Yep.
When we get to execute, please play well with the meteors and communicate with each other while you're placing them.
Why is it that you wave siphoning attacks?
Because it generates ulti, and there's nothing else to do in this phase, so I'm just light attacking something, spamming siphoning attacks so that I'm getting the siphoning passive, gives you more ulti per time you use it, cooldown of 4 seconds. Just use it off cooldown.
That's good to know.
Come up anytime. Come up anytime. You can just spam it whenever there's downtime, and you don't need to precast anything. Young Slam on Dragonlance. And it doesn't mean anything because I incapped. I've done that twice this run. Bad in
Keep that.
caps. Definitely look to destro every phase, like for any class. Meteors have started when you come. Or standard if you're a DK.
We're up.
Cricket Royale. Far left. I do want to say, and it was even an issue in this group, meteors should always be placed as far as possible, as fast as possible. The last thing you want is an inconvenient meteor close to group, such that the next meteors placed are in bad spots. Your number one priority in execute is not to kill the boss. Well, I guess it kind of is, but the number one priority before that is you place meteors in good spots. That being as close to the edge of the wing as possible, or around these edge areas, and being smart with your meteors, like communicating with your group where you're going to place them.
Going far right.
I have watched and been a part of many GSs where it has been thrown on execute because meteors are misplaced. Don't let that happen to you.
Behind your chair, sorry.
Good.
And Younghorn whenever you can.
Can't harvest when you can, Cricket.
But yeah, spoiler alert, we do get it.
Wow, thanks.
No problem.
I got it, thank you.
I was waiting. I was holding my breath.
Nice.
Alright. That was a good analysis.
It's kind of hard to analyze my own play because I think I'm literally perfect.
Okay. No. You
My
play too safe. Here's some criticism for you, dude. You play too safe.
I'm willing to agree. I really bitch moded Navi, but usually if we were to watch someone else's POV, I could roast that pretty well.
Wow.
Alright. Does anyone have any trial/role they want to see? Or ask about?
I would love to see a PH run.
A what run?
A Griffin Heart run.
A Griffin Heart run. From what perspective? Healer, tank?
DPS, please.
DPS, okay. You got one, Clive?
I think Styler Liko might have one of those.
Not from DPS
Not from,
perspective.
yeah.
I think
Nico
Liko might
does.
have one of
Actually, I
those.
think I have one, maybe. That was an old one.
Necromancer?
Or Nephis.
No, that was an old
We
one.
could
I wasn't sure
probably
when.
grab one from one of my teammates, but I don't
Yeah,
like.
let's
I'm not
go.
gonna sit there and analyze their gameplay.
Let's do
Yes,
it.
you could, Clive.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Uh,
Who is it?
uh,
Let's see, some questions. Why do some teams stack on left of dragon rather than right? Preference. Why wasn't meteor placed on the wing? Placement. How does portal skip work? I think that's for you, Clive. Portal skip. Or,
So if Navintas is pushed to his portal like phase when he spawns more portals and spawns another servant, if there's already a group down there, then it will not spawn that fate. It will not spawn that servant or the portals. Essentially meaning you skip having to go down the second time.
You basically have the big dig DPS.
Yeah,
I've only done
the
it a couple
timeline
times.
basically goes, you push to 80%, portal group is downstairs, you kill the ads and
Send it
push the
over.
boss to 70% before downstairs is done, which is a 90-second window. Once you are pushed upstairs, you can tell downstairs to kill, they come up, you've skipped second portal. But they still have to do the third portal.
so I don't know if we want to watch one from my team because we do like the really aggressive strat. Like we don't have a traditional Griffin Heart where you kill everything.
You do. Are you talking about zero portal?
Yeah, which I
Okay.
don't know how helpful that would be to like, folks who are.
Alright,
Griffin
guys,
Heart,
here's what you
know?
do get
Yeah.
200k DPS per person.
I think in terms of like handling mechanics and adapting to situations, I think it's good to look at.
I'm not answering questions like that today.
Because like
We're
there's
talking
an
about
overlap of
videos.
mechanics, like a lot of overlap, and watching how a good player deals with those mechanics without dying and outputting max DPS would always be good to watch. So I guess just pick anyone from your world record run.
I might have a VSS prog
Link.
from someone.
I posted a Macro POV in general if you want to stream it or something.
Okay.
Oh, Nepis, there's a question in Twitch chat.
Yeah, I'm not answering those kinds of questions. That's itemization and composition question. That's something for the leadership channel or another time. Like, if you're asking about ideal gear setup for trash packs, that's gonna differ, in my opinion, for group by group.
So that composition's gonna need an essay to go over.
Yeah,
usually.
like right now, you know, a score pushing group would definitely have like Deadwater's Gao, but your typical group won't have a Deadwater's Gao. So it's like it's just variable. Okay, so do we want to watch this macro? Oh, wait, let's watch. It's 4 minutes long, and then we'll watch the Turtle Dumps Sunspire prog. Okay, I'll stream the macro. And I'll stream this.
And then let me just quickly find the gear that he's running, so if people are interested.
Okay, can you guys see the video?
Okay, so this is Magcro, and he's wearing Elemental Catalyst, Sorrow, and Ma, and a Maelstrom Inferno.
Yeah, this is Rizolin's perspective. He's also one of the newer professors here. If you guys want to add him about macro. Okay, let me raise the volume.
Oh fuck.
Okay, someone messed up already from that oh fuck.
Look at all you cheaters and cowards
in
here.
the back.
Gonna get fucking banned.
Wait a minute, I'm in this.
Yeah.
So I get here I get a lot of questions from a lot of people on a couple of my Cloudburst videos, like why do you guys split off and kill the ads? Because they count for score. That's it. It's kind of cool that they count for score.
I'll be honest, I don't think there's gonna be anything to roast.
Well,
I believe for this trash as well, he's wearing Deadwater's Guile to build ult really quickly so he can gain another Colossus. And he might also be using an Arcasis pot in the hallway running from the first to the second trash pack.
Yeah, there's a lot of pre-buffing going on.
Pots. Good point. Don't use your pots when you get in.
I'm actually really waiting for. So here this is also an article. There was an article or a video made by Brennan recently on the ESOU website and on his YouTube channel. You can actually get into the arena faster if you jump from here with a degree of speed. That's just a neat trick. I think Rizola messed up. Oh my god, okay.
He fucked it up.
Yeah, he fucked up. He didn't have enough speed.
Veal did it though.
Yeah. So that's one interesting trick you can do.
3, 2.
So this doesn't happen.
Can't walk in
So definitely lost maybe like a second or two, for sure.
This is unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Oh god, please help.
8, 7.
Synergy, please.
I got creepered.
4, 3.
This is what we can roast him on. He asked for a synergy
Jesus
and
Christ,
complains
bro.
about not getting orb when he's on orb cooldown.
All I asked for is a synergy.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
There it is.
There it is, there's own. And the reason why he asked for a synergy was because probably Moon Dancer.
Yeah.
Moon Dancer your volts pre-buff. I honestly can't wait till next patch. Fucking pre-buffs.
You can hear all the keyboard.
Yeah.
Ready to focus her?
The sound of.
peaceful.
Yeah, the sound of.
Sound of parsing.
Yeah.
Damn.
This was our full focus Sororia kill.
Everyone
Yes.
drop ults when
Yeah.
she's in. Now?
I think there's a timing here that's niche and won't happen with most other
Kill her
groups
on this
actually.
one.
Like you can push her to jump before her standard happens. Like if you DPS her too hard.
She's jumping behind
I mean,
the
it didn't
group.
happen there, but
Watch
it
foam
did
lanes coming
before
through.
a lot of the times.
Heavy, heavy.
Get good cleave on Relly, please. After this port, we're gonna turn around and
I
kill
think something
Creeper.
anyone
After
can
we
notice
pop
is that the movements are precise. They're not wide. They're not like.
Kill it faster, please.
There's always a purpose to where he's moving, especially when Reliquin's up. You only back off when he's channeling a heavy, so you can see where the sparkle is. You can adjust accordingly.
And generally, it's very helpful to have the
Galloway's
minis
coming
positioned
up.
to one side of Zamaja and the
new tail.
DD's sort of on the other side, especially with Reliquin. For example, if
Rebel,
Reliquin
crispy.
is on the right leg of Zamaja, the DD stack could be on the left leg, and then angling all of their
Make sure
dots
Relly
and
dies here.
whatnot
Keep sapping. Don't impale.
toward the right.
Heavy.
Agree.
That's especially important for Sororia because
kill
she
boss.
will drop a standard, and it
Me and Nikki.
lowers
Kill
her
the
damage
creeper.
taken, makes her super tanky. So
Where
you
are
ideally
you?
want her to drop the
Kill the
standard
creeper,
on one
please.
side and then quickly position her to the other.
Alright. Clean execute.
I know Zamadra only
Don't mess
transitioned
anything
like
up.
3 times, but each time you can notice that the DDs go ASAP to the tail. You never have a reason to
All your
hang
flares
back
loud,
because
please.
you're out of healing
Kill
and you're out of position. You drop any of your mechanics out of the stack, it inconveniences
Everyone on
someone
horse.
else to go pick it
They're
up.
not dead.
Yeah. Especially ice.
Just turn around, do one swallow. They're dead.
There's one orb in the
Styles,
front. One orb in
Wonder.
the front.
It's dead.
All right.
Maybe right.
Okay, look. Okay.
Drumming grip.
Also notice that whenever there's a flare and
Okay.
execute, they're both called.
Easy
Or
work
at the very least one is called.
Is that it?
A lot of
Good
deaths
stuff.
happen in
Is
execute
that it?
because flares
Yeah.
aren't called.
Yeah, it is.
Let's go. Clive, I stole your throne. Suck my dick.
You guys explode this shit.
Yeah, this isn't. It's a very fast run, and it's for score pushing. So, but you do pick up on a lot of details, like as Clive mentioned, paying attention to where fulminates are coming from, backing up when Rally's about to do his heavy, so you can see his cascades. And
On
other
that
things.
on that trial, I'm seeing Necro using Succession.
What?
Succession.
So
Oh,
succession.
elemental secession.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't think.
I've seen some people run it too, I think.
I don't
Yeah,
think
one
it's worth
person
it.
I know was running it.
I think the jury's still out on that one.
Yeah, he's saying it's pretty good actually. The person, I don't know who's running it. I don't know though.
Let's see. Okay, we got about. We got a VSS video submitted.
Oh yeah.
Prague. 26. Here, I'll stream. Okay, so.
I still need a fire staff.
Okay, let me stream this. And you guys can. Oh god, that's a ESO. Okay, so this is a prog group, apparently. You guys can see it?
Yeah.
Alright, let's resume.
Is this Extinguisher of Flames prog or GS prog?
I don't know. I think it's just a vet Sunspire prog.
Right.
Okay, so first thing I want to point out, why the
This
fuck are you looting the ward drops, dude? I'm just kidding.
You can get cool stuff from there, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool amounts of Orichalcum.
Stop slacking.
I think first thing I do is zoom out.
So
What's that
there are a
poster in the
couple
background?
sets that I still need to get, so
Nice
I'm probably
button.
gonna grind out
Sunspire
that.
skin?
It's gonna be another vet dungeon
like
that
his
I haven't
costume.
done, but it should be fine.
I'm actually a big fan of it.
This fashion seems pretty on point. That's pretty important. Adds like 10k DPS. Adds like 10k DPS, sorry. He's a Stam crew. That's pretty rare to see these days.
It'll be a lot more common next patch, I think.
Yeah, I agree. His bar seems fine at first glance.
How many crows you can use in next patch?
A minimum
Alright,
of
here we go,
4.
lads.
Amazing.
I think you could push to 3 with
For score pushing, probably
ulti,
3.
with more ulti gen.
Let's do this, Bilbo. I'm expecting. I hope I do the same amount that I've been doing, maybe a little better.
You've only got 15k.
When are they gonna start the crash?
Argonian to look like an Argonian.
This is Bilbo, another DPS. It's my boy. My boy.
Okay.
Bilbo God.
Alright, let's.
I think my first tip after zooming out would be go hit the ads, I think.
Oh, they were waiting on somebody. They were looting the wardrobe, dude.
Oh my god, we actually started a raid on time.
Okay, he zoomed out because I was kind of worried about his field of view. Okay, turtle's dead.
Rip.
So,
First thing I notice right away is that there needs to be some communication about where the stack is and where the DDs should be standing. Like you've got 2, now they're all together.
Yeah,
But at the
I was
beginning
looking
you
for
had
Godslayer.
2 or 3 off to one side down the stairs, whereas the person whose point of view we're watching ran straight up.
So I'm not going to
There
be
was a
doing
death
that
along the
much
way.
damage on this stage
So the
because
group
for
should
melee.
know exactly where things are going to be. They need to get there right away.
So, one thing I also want to point out was the taunts were a bit slow on the cats, and that's why I think that's what was happening there. I'm not sure. Who died? Turtle then? That's a tank? Or was it the other turtle? Oh my god.
I think it was a certain turtle. Not sure which one it was.
Certain turtle.
I think if you're doing ranged strats on trash packs, you probably shouldn't run a two-hander on it. You should run double bow.
Okay,
The two-hander isn't providing you with anything.
Yeah, that's a bit slow. Yeah, this guy is doing two-hander bow. I would do bow if he's in a range like this. And honestly, bow for trash for Stam DPS is very comparable to mag for trash.
It's extremely safe. It's actually longer range than mag.
You can see that he's having trouble hitting the ads. I saw him swinging the weapon without actually hitting anything or any skills.
He also has
I'm not gonna be
Reliquin
doing
on, by
that
the way.
much
Have you guys
damage.
noticed that? Harmful winds, that's Reliquin. What do you have Reliquin for trash? Probably have a trash setup.
On this
The third
stage,
thing would be
because
removing these
I'm a
useless
melee,
numbers.
This is where
Well,
the
they're
ranged
useful.
DPS kind of has.
Kinda useful.
I think as long as you
sometimes.
can like understand what they mean.
Yeah.
I don't think the healing numbers are that useful, but the damage numbers are.
Like, UI is preference, as long as it doesn't obstruct your view, it's fine. I don't know.
It's dark.
This stack should have been much faster. Like, the tank should have been ready. Like, the thing with distance taunting, you gotta be in position already, because a lot of the elite ranged ads, whether it's overchargers in AA, Sanctum, or Maw, or this trial, they will cast off certain abilities or animations that'll delay being stacked, so the tank should have been already here. Taunted, should have distanced it, come back in already. This is a little slow. I don't know where the other ad is. This needs to be stacked. What's going on?
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy. Just imagine if you guys remember the
It's fucking
Hellrot
crazy.
Citadel.
Is this like a steady group, or is it just
the
like
Hellrot
random
Citadel
pug kind of thing?
Progression group.
So it is a
about this
pre-made.
Yeah, it's a pre-gen.
Okay.
Oh my god. You know, I've tried pugging Sunspire. I think the two hardest trials to pug are honestly Podrus and Sunspire.
I joined a Cragborn zone chat Sunspire pug the other day.
Well,
and,
I'm just saying that like Hellrot Citadel was another
made it
trial.
I don't know if that was a good idea.
That
We
I've
went to
beaten on veteran.
Yuln first.
It's one of the easier
and
trials to
couldn't
do,
get very far.
actually.
Yeah, it's...
This is a DLC trial, so it's gonna be fucking hard.
My bad, I think I distracted you.
Yo, what up, Yuruzin? Welcome. Welcome everyone that's joining. But you can make it.
But yeah, if you just like
Okay, I think we should skip to the boss fight. Or do you guys want to watch the trash fights?
I think if for this
The
group,
good thing about these progression groups
is
that
anybody
I've done this so
in the
many
group
fucking
who's here
times
in the
that,
chat?
like, I kind of know what needs to be done in a sense.
Hmm?
It's just a matter of
Not
like
sure.
muscle memory.
I was
and
gonna
better
say if
execution.
there is, then I would recommend that you guys sort of sit down together and organize what sets you should use on trash. Like for example, as was already mentioned, Reliquin is probably not the best thing to use on trash, and you want to make sure you have setups where you can, for one, like actually hit the ads with the skills on your bar. Like if you're, as was already said as well, two-hander and staying ranged, that's probably not super ideal.
Can you use Bobo VO?
Yeah,
With
if you need the
Locasting?
sustain, that's totally fine.
If it's just a progression group that just wants to
So-
clear, it doesn't really
so-
matter.
I use Bobo with my Necro and with VO, so the sustain's good. So I don't know. Am I doing something wrong with that?
It's not an S tier or A tier setup, but it's a viable option if you need the sustain. There are better setups though.
Okay, so as a DPS,
Targeting a small ad.
Okay, yeah, never target a small ad. You just target a small ad. They should die in Clive. Where's my mouse?
The thing is, I see more light attacking than more ability. Nice.
Definitely, like, you had a bow setup, but now you're not making use of it. Like, this is definitely one where if you don't have brawler, you definitely want to be ranged. This is a really risky way to play. And also single targeting something when there's 5 things to hit with your AoE is not a good idea either. Can do a lot more DPS if you're using volley and arrow spray.
My sheer
More.
This stack right here was split, so if you see how the big 4-legged cats are in the middle and then the humanoid-ish cats were on the other side. You ideally want to have one stack for everything, so just tanks talk together and decide where you're going to be putting things, and I think overall make sure that it's consistent for your DDs so the DDs know every single time where things are going to be.
After the trash up until lock us, I'll show my perspective for tanking this in the stacks. Not necessarily like a sword push or anything, just safe, easy. Oh god.
Definitely the way to play here would have been just using arrow spray like he did on the previous like pack.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do if you get jumped? Go to the big cat? Oh, okay.
You learn something new every day.
So if I go bow, what should I use? Low casting? What else? Or not low casting?
I got my boy. Oh, never mind.
Should be TFS and Zog.
I'm sorry, what is TFS? I'm sorry.
Twice fanged.
Oh,
Twice
twice
Fanged Serpent.
I think
Alright.
first
You
the
can
2
use
fang.
Azure Blade.
I think 2 fang is bad this patchy, so.
If Alkosh is procced well and it does high damage, but most of the times like there's gaps in trash. And Stam needs a lot of pen anyway. You're not getting Tremor Scale, you're probably not getting Minor Breach as well.
Doesn't
I think it's worth using.
off tank use Defile Dragon?
Not true, but in a lot of times the off tank is moving off to stack other things. They won't be in group a lot of the time.
Unless you organize it, so. Unless the other tank can hop. Alright.
Have to reload UI.
Let's keep going.
It comes up as an enemy.
We can see the DPS list.
Nice.
I have them as rainbow colored. It shows up as rainbow.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. I've never seen this way. Okay.
I used to do that on PS4 a lot.
Oh, I've never
This
seen
has
that
the
strat.
same effect as just standing on top of the stairs.
I don't. Does it? I don't think
yeah,
so.
that doesn't.
No.
What? You can't really hide from anything because you're already at the top of the stairs.
But there's no point in line of sighting behind the pillar right there.
Yeah, what I'm saying is it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. It's like. It's the first time I've ever seen that strat.
In fact, I think it delayed the group going down such that the tanks died because they had no healing.
Yeah. Okay, they're retrying the trash.
I mean, if the guy's planning to use 2H,
Brawler.
like in trash, he should, at least use Brawler.
Also, a lot of people
Makes you functionally invincible.
Yeah, a lot of viewers make the mistake of assuming that it's the Sun Eater that needs to die, but as Style said earlier on, or Clive said earlier on, you gotta kill the 2-handers first. Because they will jump into the group. And then it's usually the Sun Eater gets cleaved down, and then the cats are usually the last to die, depending on how well they're stacked.
Oh, the Fate. Sun Eater.
Yeah. Oh yes, okay, sorry. The Fate, Jesus Christ.
Too much
They're the same thing. They're the same thing.
I interchange the two as well, pretty frequently. They are both the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, oof. The person with the lightning should get the hell out. Alright, I'm gonna skip forward to lock.
I think for this group, it might be wise to save your ults for that trash. Or like position at the top of the stairs, or at least save a couple ults. Have the DD stand at the top of the stairs and be ranged, and make the stack at the bottom of the stairs.
So I'm gonna show the trash stacks from my perspective. Not the fastest run in the world. It's just something that tanks can take reference from. And where to stack it. So most groups stack the group on the stairs or over here on the water. Doesn't really matter. as long as the cats are pointing away from the group. And then notice that, okay, the cat is dead. Now, I'm here, I'm like, okay, I'm already looking towards where the spawn of the Fate is. And then I taunt it, and I just go. You get me further away than that, but... And then they're stacked just like that, and the other tank takes both melees. And that's it. For this one, so this depends. You can have both tanks stay. We just send the tank ahead just to open the door faster. If both tanks stay, typically one takes the one on the stairs at spawn, and the other one takes the Gale Claw on the left, and the Fire Fang on the right, and then you just stack it in the middle, and always point away from the group. The VOD that we just watched, they're kind of facing angled towards the group, but not completely towards the group, just facing completely away from the group. Some tanks ask me, oh well, how do you stack these? Because they jump away a lot or walk away a lot. There's this trick I learned. It's like, I don't know, it's something to do with their timers, but I'll have to remember it. And when we keep going, so the ice, like where Clive and Style said, you know, they're split, you always want to stack everything here. Okay, you want to designate which tank takes what and puts them where. Here I'm just taking the Fate and, you know, chaining the smaller ads. I'm doing a pretty bad job at it. I think this is also where, when the things were desynced. Storm? Yeah, it was Storm. Oh my god, worst patch.
Oh, rip.
Okay, yeah. And here, okay, so some people probably missed it here. I'm looking towards where the Sun Eater spawn is gonna spawn. You can do it two ways. You can do stack this Sun Eater over here on the right Sun Eater, or the right Sun Eater over here. It doesn't really matter. But I go outrange it, stacks on the Sun Eater, and the other tank takes the melee and points the Will away from the group. And that's ice trim. Okay.
Yeah, I think ideally in any trial or wherever it's possible, you never want to have melee ads on the tank that's making a stack, if at all possible. You know, you want your melees to be in the group at all times so they die. Sometimes it may not be possible. Or may not be ideal.
There's one, this thing I'm doing that you guys will be watching, I don't really recommend for progression groups unless the tank can handle it. So we have one tank take this, and the other tank go all the way to the next trash pack, probably one of the most dangerous trash pulls in the game. And if you want to do this, you have to kind of, like, you see how I'm like spamming my map? Okay, where's my group, where's my group, where's my group? I'm looking at if they're actually gonna be, if they're actually moving towards me. If I pull this too early, I'm fucking dead. Because there's no DPS, there's no healer. If I pull this too late, then there's a huge chance the ads will aggro onto the other people, and it'll mess up the stack. So I gotta be kind of on point with this. Okay, I see them moving towards me. I taunt the Gale Claw first because the two Wills and the Fate doesn't spawn until these are actually aggroed. So you can guarantee one of the priority ads already aggroed onto you. Then I taunt the Fate, and you see where this cacti are? I just kind of stand there, or over here. And the Fate will come in with distance, and then depending on which tank takes what, you just take your ads and stack them. And here's something pretty interesting. A lot of groups have their tanks take the cats away from the stack, thinking, okay, that's safer, but you always want to put the cats in between the group and the Fate, because they should die, especially if you're saving ultis. Even in groups with low DPS, if you save that everyone saves Destro, there's no way, not like, you know, these ads won't die, in my opinion. But yeah, that's a trash. Let's move on to the other Twitch fun. That's how trash is done.
I think I am. So with this,
okay, so this is
boss,
Locust
you'll explain the
tier right now.
Yeah, right now we're doing volunteerism.
Okay, they're choosing volunteers for ice cages. I know the feels.
If you're a prog, you definitely should start this out beforehand, before it starts, so you can spend more time reading.
You want me to stream for you?
Yeah.
Or would you Who do you want streaming?
Well, probably Turtle.
You could have saved at least 10, 20 minutes of raid time.
Goodness.
Okay, there we go. Alright, here we go. Some action. So, thing about Dizzy Swing, I'm sure Clive also has an opinion on this for Stam. It's fine on a dummy, but I just found it really hard to do in raids personally when I was Stam crew. And you know, a lot of people are putting out PTS parses with Dizzy Swing and shit, which I don't think will be realistic in trials. So, I don't know. Personally, I would do Venom Skull here as a Stam crew, not Dizzy Swing.
I hard agree. The other thing is I can't see any dot timers. I assume you have them, but either
Yeah, I
way.
see them.
What about Brawler?
Not for single target. Brawler's for AoE.
I forget what used to be like the meta back in the day when it was a Stam comp progging Godslayer.
We did Skull.
Was it Brawler?
We did Skull.
We had Skull and Brawler.
For Navi, we had Brawler for sure because of the ads.
What happened there? Did it just die with the
It looked like
ice?
the ice
Ice
cage
cage.
wasn't healed.
Oh, we
Or
had
somebody
the
didn't go into the ice cage, rather.
our cages had Brawler, but the people who stayed on Navi had dual wield.
Pretty sure everyone had Brawler, no? Because of the ads on Loki.
That was towards the later end, but I think for most of the time we were progging it, we did have dual wield like on Loki, just so we could push single targets and skip
Oh, yeah.
cages.
I think also we spam Brawler
just made it
during
go into the cage, I think
beam
that's why.
phase because of the shield.
He was specifically
Is
requested.
that a stun?
I mean, that was just a joke so I could let him die, but then he just didn't go, so,
What'd
you
you
know,
say?
I'm satisfied.
So we all died.
Is this hard mode? I can't tell. Or is
This
it regular?
is not hard mode. I don't think.
Somebody that doesn't hit quite as hard.
Pretty sure it's not hard mode because the fires are still lit, right?
I can't really see the. Oh yeah, it's not hard mode.
Pretty well.
How much was he doing?
Obo was hitting 57k before he died.
Okay,
Yeah,
we've got
so-
some 60K parts.
Okay.
Doesn't light.
Okay, here we go. Ad phase. Okay.
I noticed.
Hmm.
You grab it, you keep it.
Remember,
I think Clive wants to say something about how people are placing their AoEs for sure here.
It's a lot harder on Stam because your ground dots are much shorter and they're circular rather than, I don't know, long ranged. But for sure, there's spots where you can have hail on both things. Like what you should have done is put your hail on the farthest one to get more efficiency out of it. Probably make use of your single target dots as well, because just wrecking blowing something is not like that helpful as well. Definitely more blast bones casts, because that's your only source of cleave pretty much. There are Atros out in ad phase, overlapping into Loki, which is always a bad thing. You never want that.
Always gonna get.
Rip. So as a tank, you should probably not proc breath ever, unless you are procking breath to delay its animation. So what I mean by that is, and people ask me about this all the time, why do you range it? It's just safer, and you do damage because you're reflecting his bolts back at him. You come in at certain intervals. It's not strictly percentage based. Depends on your group's DPS, but generally you only want to proc breath when you're about to push him into the next phase, because this delays not only the frozen tombs from spawning, this also gives your group a lot of time to push him well past the, he's at 77% here. Typically he flies up at 80%, so you got an extra 3% on him. So
that's a nice technique.
So definitely don't proc breath. It's just also stressful on the healers, because they're healing tombs, right? And they can't heal both you and the tomb.
I would say that you should be at that point in
So
the
it's just less safe.
position where you normally are when you're DPSing the dragon.
We'll also need to be quicker on those reses during flight phase.
Yep.
If we have one DPS down, that's one storm atro we're not killing.
Your
before he
focus in
lands.
this fight. Your
Actually, I
focus
want
is
to see if they're focusing.
That's it. It's shattering.
What? Oh, jeez.
I think it's also important in a prog group, like if you guys are going to be sticking together and working on this for a while, is to, when people die, you need to determine why they die and how to fix it. So you're not, you know, doing the same mistakes over and over and over.
Yeah.
So like if people are dying during the ad phases, for example, is the group spread out? Are they not in healing? Are people dying to the glacial fists? Okay, then how are you going to improve on that?
A lot of the wipes here also just seem to look like inexperience. Obviously just basically more reps, just keep doing it.
Yeah. I mean, he's also CP 468. Probably hasn't experienced all the trials and all the things.
For sure.
I would highly
Starting
recommend
early.
start out with Kraglorn trials, honestly, for any progression group. And then move on to the DLC, because the Kraglorn trials are very fundamental, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that death right there was an unblocked meteor. So how do I fix that? Well,
You
you either
block.
get out of the meteor, you can see the telegraph coming on the ground, so you either block it if you can't get out of it in time, or if you can get out of it in time, just move to the side quickly.
3 dead.
But this will come with experience, as was said. Figuring out what does what's dangerous, where you can and can't stand, and whatnot.
I also have something to point out. I was looking for this. So, as a progression group, depending on the DPS, I would kill the first Frost Atro or the first 2 Lightning Storm Atros, and then push if your DPS is too low for handling all the Storm Atros. Because you have 2 less Storm Atros to kill during the ad phase. And it's something hard mode progression groups also do. Not necessarily, you're not going to do this for like Godslayer because of time constraints, but if you're just looking to clear or clean it up more, then that's certainly an option.
Resing someone?
All DPS pop on that frozen Atro that's real low.
Those tombs are like on top of each other.
No, it's only one tomb. It's tomb and lightning. Lightning can hurt you.
Oh shit.
He's gonna get winged.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely stop proccing the breath.
The dragon's loose turtle.
Just range it.
It doesn't matter. This is a wipe.
Okay. So what happened there, Humps?
Alright, well, they said they wiped 18 times.
It's not.
This guy's looking around for his, like...
Never mind.
for, like, I don't know, like a noose. 18 wipes is pretty rough, yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's gotta hydrate, you know. Definitely #1 tip, hydrate. Oh god. It's funny.
If I'm like,
I also think as a group, you guys need to have a plan what you're gonna do for example, if you still have ads up and the boss comes down. Because
Thanks for some,
right
like,
there before that wipe, I saw that there was a cluster of DPS hitting the boss, and then there were people in the back hitting the ads / trying to res, which is kind of a nightmare for healing, and just not ideal in general. You guys want to all be together all the time, pretty much, unless your strategy is to split off and kill the ads, but I don't think that's ideal either.
Yeah.
So then you'll have the Storm Atros executing for longer when they should be.
Let's give an example of what Styles is talking about. How like close a group should be to each other. Look at this. You got 2 tanks, no one else is away from the group or should be from the group. Helps the healers a lot. Look how tight that is. They're moving together. And at no point do they, you know, split off. They're still staying together here. The only time they split off is for the beam things.
That's what you want.
That's what you want. Combat prayer uptime, more healing. Honestly, a good way if people keep splitting off is just telling them you're not going to get heals if you split off and they'll stop splitting off. That's typically how it goes. But okay, let's grab the video. So they wiped 18 times on Locust apparently.
got ultimate already.
So we're gonna... Oh my goodness.
pretty much until.
Wow. You guys were in here for so long, it turned from night to day. Rip.
I think it's worth recognizing as a group, like as a core, when it's time to just go back to the drawing board and try again later. Because if you're just spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere, then it's not worth the time invested.
But when I can't look at him, just
Yeah, I'll also look at progression, not as how should I say
You
this?
need to try to dodge
What
roll
you
the breath
accomplish,
and
but
tank it flat out.
look at where you are in relation to where you were last
Also,
time.
sorry,
So, let's say you cleared last week, but you can't clear this week. Well, just gotta see what went wrong, or if you couldn't clear last week and you cleared this week, you gotta see what improved, what changed.
I alternate shards.
That was definitely something I experienced in my first GS prog. Like there was one week where you were there for this, Clive, right? Like where we killed Loki and it was great, and then like the whole rest of the week, like we just kept wiping on Loki. It was reset fest on Loki over and over and over. Just couldn't get past it.
Yeah, yeah, shit happens.
Alright, I'm never gonna.
It's
There are
probably
bad weeks and good weeks.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's probably the hardest in the raid league. Like, damn. Number of times I wanted to just fucking slip my wrist. But anyway, that's a topic for a different time. Okay, is there another attempt here? Okay, so you're getting
I
the
know Spider.
Alright, so the group should have probably killed the Storm after faster. Shouldn't explode.
I will. I'll take it. That's over.
It also seems like there's a lot of talk going on.
Ooh, the heal. You wanna comment on that song?
Huh?
The heal, the ice team. Oh, I guess
I
they
didn't
were.
see what happened.
Were they
I think
dead?
they were wiping.
Is this
When
the
did the
heal?
healer die? If you could go back to that.
Just. Well, okay, that's not the healer. That wasn't. The
It looked
healer.
like there might have been lots of deaths because the Atro executing and not getting killed.
Glacial Cleave maybe in group as well. Frost Atro shouldn't be there.
Pretty much if the other healer goes down and.
It looks like. Are those leftover Frost Atros from the previous phase, or are they new ones that just spawned? I can't tell.
I think they're left over, which is a bad sign.
Yeah,
Probably.
so that's something the tanks would want to sort out too, is how to properly get rid of all of them. Or as many as possible.
There's an issue with time. If one tank takes all three Atros, whether it's non-Harmon or Harmon, there's an issue where they can overlap, or it's hard to get the one you need into the AoE. So let's say you have all three. Actually, I think this just happened. You have all three right here. One's like really low, and you need to put the next two in the next couple AoEs. But what if this one follows you into this one? You just wasted an AoE. So I would just definitely suggest having a tank taunt one and the other tank taunt two, and then take it from there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think maybe this is exactly what you're saying, but there's also another strategy where one tank like takes all of them, or as many as possible, and then when it's time to bring one in, then the other tank who doesn't have any will just take that off. Like they'll say, I'm taking one, or I'm taking one, takes the Atro off the one tank with all of them, walks it into the thing.
Yeah.
I think that is the super safe, but also super slow method. But it's definitely safe.
Okay.
I guess I'm.
I wonder if this entire. Oh, did they? Okay, I think just ad phase is the main issue here, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right there is an example, like 5 seconds ago, was an example of being clipped by CC because you're in a channel. Or you're just recently in a channel. Casting Wrecking Blow. Wrecking Blow.
Yeah, I don't like Wrecking Blow.
There's a meteor. You get clipped.
Yeah.
Being able to block on demand is such a powerful thing that any skill that takes that away from you is a bad skill, in my opinion.
Yeah, clipped again.
Unless it's like Beam, which is extremely high damage and only something you do for a portion of the fight. I don't think there's any other channel worth doing. At least as a DD.
Rapid strikes.
I guess jabs.
Kind of. I guess it depends. It depends.
His jabs is all the Stamplar has.
Yeah, their jabs is ridiculous.
I got stunned
Okay. Yeah, it's just organization of the ads, I think.
Yeah. It'll come in time, and then also recognizing, as I said before, what's killing you, why you're dying, how to improve on it.
Wait, you both got frozen? I'm confused.
All
So right
right.
there, for example, you guys all died because the one
There's a frost
Atro
Atro behind
was in
us.
execute for too long. And it looked like some people were trying to res or hitting other targets,
Light
and only a few people were hitting the low Atro. So it was just executing forever.
Two Mueller, just keep light up while she's getting reses. Everybody else with the exit.
What do you recommend I use instead of Wrecking Blow? Venom Skull.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Venom Skull.
Block.
Got him.
Like I said earlier, Wrecking Blow or whatever, or Dizziness or whatever, you're gonna see a lot on both live and PTS dummy parses, but in actual raids, I don't think that it's worth it personally.
Whoever had a meteor, you.
Although next patch, I don't know. I don't think it's still worth the next patch, even with the 3-second in power.
As a means to showcase the total DPS potential of a class, using the highest damage options you have available, sure, I think it's great to use.
Yeah.
But in raid scenarios, it's often very, very different. And there's always adjustments that you need to make, going from a dummy parse video to an actual raid.
Yep.
Go clean up those storms, so we got one storm left.
Alright. Well, I think that's pretty much it. It's the same thing, kind of. Trash. Team is basically trash for both trash and trash during the boss fight.
Just organization.
Yeah, basically. Because anyone have any questions about anything else or content role? Yes, start. No one has any questions about healing, DPSing, tanking? What does that add on that list of DPS of your Hodor reflexes? We do have logs from the group.
Oh, cool. We can overhaul his bars.
Alright. I put it in general. Actually. Does that work? Okay, it works. Okay, 18 waves. Let's see. Streaming.
First thing, I would recommend that one healer or tank runs a warden, if at all possible, because you really want that minor toughness. Because there's a mechanic in the Lacestes fight called, what's it called again? Crap, I don't remember. Hypothermia, and it reduces your max HP by 10%. And so if you have a warden to give minor toughness to the group, it'll negate that mechanic essentially.
Frost Cloak is also just really nice to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking at your comp, you probably have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8 DDs that don't have any major resists, which is spooky. So yeah, I would say if one of your healers are comfortable being a warden, definitely be a warden.
Personally, I would not go with the Master Sword and board on the Necromancer tank. If you're gonna be wearing PA, I would definitely front bar it, because you can cast proxy that or vigor.
Your Necro or you can swap to Unnerving Boneyard. Wait, which one's the
Unnerving is the
breach
fracture
one?
Yeah.
Right, you were missing that on the Storm Atros, which helps if the LA drain is missed. Just smooths out the uptimes on your breach. Help with damage a lot more as well. It basically just looks like the Stam Crow copied a parse video and tried to apply it to Locustes. But should always think about what you're running and where it's good when you try to apply it to content rather than making a strict copy-paste. It'll never go well. Or well, it will go well if you do it in a parse scenario, but in a situation like this, it didn't go well.
Okay, So I got a lot to say about the Templar off tank or tank. I don't know if it's the off tank or the main tank. I think it's the main tank. Unicron. Okay, okay. So immovable. I would not use it for Locustes. Inner Beast. I would go with the other morph, Magicka. Templar as a tank class is rather straightforward. It's basically a much more simpler version of DK, except without the extra bells and whistles that gives you like Stam back if you use an Earth and Heart ability. So going with 2 range or 2 taunts that are stamina based is kind of risky. You do have restoring focus, but I don't think that's enough for your drain, particularly if your main heal is resolving vigor. Radiant Ward is fine, but for Locustes I would go with defensive stance. But then that's more of a stam drain, which is more of another reason to run inner range. Extended Ritual is fine. Endless Hail, that's another stam drain, but I do understand you want to keep a Crusher. However, you don't have Infused Crusher anyway. The other tank who's off-tanking the Atros can do this. Radiant Aura, situational. Okay, gear.
I will be off early. I have a raid to get to in approximately 12 minutes.
That's fine. I don't think there's any more videos anyway. Thanks for coming, Clive.
Yeah, thanks for host. Goodbye.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
We're gonna need more videos. Okay, anyway, Divines. I don't know about these traits for what.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sturdy, like at least 4 pieces of sturdy and 3 pieces infused. All sturdy. Enchantment wise, health is fine.
Wait, what are those jewelry enchant? Decrease physical damage?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna comment on next. Useless. So definitely get rid of this and replace it with I don't know, like probably 2 mag recovery, 1 stam cost reduction, something like that. Although for Locustes, I've experimented with this, like 3 stam recovery and not blocking while doing defensive stance. It's still a huge stam drain, so I don't think it's 3 stam recovery. I don't know. It depends. You can do whatever, but just not these enchants. These are useless. Reduce armor. That's Crusher. You definitely want infused. Well fit, that's fine. Yeah, it's just a gear issue here on this one. How about the healers? Sentinel, Yorvil.
This
Wait,
looks like the group healer, possibly?
why is there 1 piece Yorvils? And combat physician.
And Galima.
What?
There's 1 piece Galima on back bar.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay. So it's
Maybe there's a... Is this
gear.
the first run? Maybe like check a later run to see if the gear was fixed.
Oh. Maybe they just slammed the gear. Let me look to a different one. Let's go over to 10-minute fight. No, same
No,
gear.
it's still there. Yeah.
It's probably just.
So what do we have 5 pieces of? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Olo. We have not another 5 piece set, I think. Just random pieces.
Yeah. Definitely farm up the gear.
Yeah.
Before coming back in.
If at all possible, I would... Like, you have all purple gear, which is fine. If you're ever going to get around to golding something out, gold out your front bar stuff first. So your restoration stuff in this case. Bar setups. We got Illustrious Radiating Orb.
Orb should be morphed.
Blood Altar unmorphed. Yeah, so I would try to morph Orb as soon as possible. Blood Altar is, like, in this case, kind of okay-ish to not have morphed right away. I would put Blood Altar on your back bar because it lasts for so long. Generally, you want your longer lasting skills in the back bar and then the shorter duration ones on the front. This looks like the cage healer. So we've got
It's basically
Olo and Hollow.
Okay, it's a more complete version of Poops the Bed.
So you guys have double Olo, which isn't
Yeah.
necessary. So I would sort it out so only one of you are running Olo. The other one is not running Olo. You could put here Yorvold. I think one of the tanks was wearing Worm. You could do Roaring.
Oh, they don't have Worm, I don't think.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, Warrior's Poet as well.
Okay, yeah. So you
I
could
would get rid of
do
that.
you could do, for example, one healer in Yorvold and Hollowfang, and the other in like Olo and Worm. Can you go back to the cage healer?
Yeah.
So we've got a Master Resto, which is fine for non-hard mode. It would be faster if you had a Black Rose Resto, just because of the, what is it, Major Vitality that it gives?
Yeah.
And for vet hard mode, it'll definitely be super noticeable not having that Black Rose Resto.
No,
If possible, I would morph to Illustrious rather than Healing Springs. Your sustain ideally should be fine to not use Healing Springs, and the heal is stronger and lasts longer, so you have more time to cast other skills. I notice you don't have Ritual, but that's fine because there are other rituals in the group. I also think, if possible, tanks should be the one to run Purge, but I guess it depends on their comfort with the mechanics and the fight overall. You Purifying Light I see instead of Power of the Light. You could possibly swap to Power of the Light for a bit more extra pen, unless there's like a Stamplar in the group already, which I didn't see, or I'm not sure if there is one rather. And there's no blockade either.
Yeah, you have a lightning staff. If you didn't do blockade, just do ice. But you should probably do well with lightning staff for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you go to that person's mag drain? I'm curious. Like, go to their resources.
Oh, whoops.
And then mag.
Yeah.
Okay, so sustain is kind of iffy.
No, this is
ideally you wouldn't need restoring focus. But if you're having sustain issues, then yeah, you can stick with it for now while you're learning the fight. What are the monster sets as well? I didn't see what.
Sentinel.
Sentinel. Was there any Symphony in the group?
That's what I was checking for on the tanks. Earthcore. Earthcore, no Symphony.
So I would recommend one healer, the group healer being in Symphony, and then the cage healer being in Troll King. Troll King's going to help you heal the cages a little bit faster, especially with using a Master Resto rather than the Black Rose.
Oh, it's time to Neferson chill.
Also, I forgot to say this. Warrior Poet ditched that. Also, wait a minute. Yeah, Evan is fine. I would dish the Warrior Poet. It's kind of a useless set. I don't know why people get so mad at me when I say that. But it's useless. It's useless. Alright, DPS. Seems fine. First glance. Okay. Yeah, okay. If Clive was here, he'd probably recommend a couple bar setups, but definitely replace. You can stick with the Tinder, definitely replace this with a Venom Skull. I would not do Necrotic Potency on the back bar, probably like something like Consuming Trap. Yeah, that's.
Maybe Liko can chime in.
Where's Liko, dude? Where's Liko?
Since Clive is gone.
Liko's okay. He fell asleep.
Liko.
Fell asleep in class, man. Shit. Thanks for something good, Craig. Yeah, I would do Consuming Trap on the back bar instead of Necrotic Potency, and Venom Skull on the front bar instead of Wrecking Ball. Also, Reverse Slice. Probably remorph that to Executioner. And I would just look into Stamper Rotation. Relevant Scar. That's all fine. Robust, Bloodthirst.
Stop rolling, please.
Hmm? Anyway. I don't think you need Sharpen either as a Stamcrow. You need, like, Precise. Nernhund for Navintas. But Precise is fine for Luxus. MA Catalyst.
There.
A little bit. Anyway, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. It's mainly.
Oh, actually, you know what you might consider since there are quite a few Stam people in the group, aren't there?
So far, we have one Macro, one Stam Crew, one Mag DK, one Stam Blade, and everybody else, I think, is Mag. So two Stam.
Okay.
Okay, so Rapid Strikes. Oh, okay.
Maybe consider Hircine on one support, or what's the Kind's Aegis set that gives Mag and Stam back when you
Kind's
cast?
Wind.
Yeah, maybe Kind's Wind, just because it's a mixed comp.
Yeah. I would not do Rapid Strikes as a Stam Blade. For kind of the same reasons as a Stam Crew doing Dizzying Swing. Stam Blade, this patch, Surprise Attack, is just really good. Or, I mean, yeah, Surprise Attack. I wouldn't do Rapid Strikes. Otherwise, the bars seem okay. Well, how about the caltrips? Probably front bar. Oh, actually, never mind. Seems fine overall. Mag Blade. Seems fine. Bilbo. Alright. Huh. I would not front bar Hardened Ward, and you shouldn't need Crit Surge either. So replace Crit Surge with Hardened Ward. And probably put Inner Light, or you could do double pet. To you. The last work. Okay. I wouldn't do Balance Storm on the front bar. Okay, good. Some Crit Surge is kind of redundant. Yeah. Prep Beast. Double barring, but Balance Storm probably not a good way to go. Otherwise, Gears seems fine for the most part for the DPS. Besides the bar setups. Supports need to kind of review their bar setups / gear / enchant / itemization with each other. I think that's pretty much all I can say. Alright. Does anyone else have any questions about content / their role?
Hello? My mic was broken, I think, for a sec.
Yeah, you just got back.
If at all possible, I would try to have Purge on both tanks, or just more than one Purge in the group in general. Like, if the tanks can't run it, then maybe both healers could, but I think it'd be better on the tanks, and you'd want to more that Purge as soon as possible. And where you want to Purge is during the ad phases, because the Storm Matrix will put a dot on people that they light attack, and the dot does damage over time, obviously, and it can also inflict minor vulnerability on people, which will make them take more damage. So if you're not really certain when you should purge, then definitely get the Purge tracker add-on. That's a huge help. And just keep purges up whenever needed during the ads, especially during the beam phase. And if you guys ever get around to doing hard mode, then Purge is going to be even more valuable.
Yeah. I will do double pet, personally, on both bars. Save Interlight on both bars. Also, Crit Surge should not be a thing. Alright, does anyone have any questions or videos they want to share or look at? From YouTube or wherever. Whether it's yours or somebody else's. No one? Some of your mics are muted, by the way.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. We'll give it another 15 minutes or something.
+2 for VCR because that's what I'm thinking as mini tank.
Sorry, I
What do
can't hear
say?
you. You said VCR +2 main tank?
Oh yeah.
What's your question about VCR? Or what do you want to know?
So like, where's the best place to for Reliquin? Where's the best place to tank? that
Okay,
one?
let me pull up a video. That's a great question, actually.
Cause like I tank it like by portal, and then people go to synergize stuff that gets sent down in the portal, so I'm getting yelled at, and that's where like I normally tank it.
Oh my god, why do I have so many fucking Cloudress videos? Jesus fucking Christ. Is this the off tank? No, that's not the off tank. Mini tank? I have no idea where my stuff is. Okay, so... Damn it. It's all portal tanking. Wait, I have an idea. No, that wasn't it. Okay, I found it. I think I found it. No, wait. No, this is not either. Wait, is this one? Oh my god, dude. I need to stop making videos. Okay, perfect. This is one. Alright, so you asked where to put the minis, and this is a...
At least Reliquin, because for the ice mini, I normally just stack it on boss, because there's really nothing that's going to really kill the teammates.
Okay. So where do you stack Sororia, first off? On Zamaja, right?
Yeah, well, that is for +3, because right now for +2 we're just doing ice boss and lightning boss.
Okay, I'll show you Reliquin here real quick. So,
Sororia on the boss for sure.
yeah, where the fuck is Sororia? Okay, so there's two ways groups can do it. First way, which at first glance seems safer, is putting Reli in middle, like so in this video, and then having everyone just kind of center their movement and positioning around Reliquin or around the portal. When I say put Reli in the middle, you don't have to put him on the portal or whatever. You can just put him next to the portal in such a way that no one should ever be on or near the portal to get this energy. So when you said they're yelling at you to not put Reli on the portal or near the portal, that's kind of their fault if they synergize the portal. They're just going to get too close to it. In this video, I'm putting him in the middle because we're playing quote-unquote safe. It's not really safe in the sense that, well, okay, it's not safe for the main tank personally because you're shifting everything away from the main tank that's taking Zamaja. So the main tank has to be able to take care of themselves, like Drew her beams and Dot. If you are going to go with Reliquin in the middle, there's a upside to it. There's also the fact that you're not pushing Zamaja to where the creepers start spawning. So in that sense, it's a little safer.
Yep.
But basically, you just want them in the middle of the room. There shouldn't be any excuse for anyone to take the portal or not know where they're supposed to be. They should always be between Zamaja and Reliquin because you don't want people to be furthest away from Reliquin or from Zamaja, so they get the Crushing Darkness. Typically, the Kite healer should have the Crushing Darkness. As for Galloway, you can also put it on Zamaja. But it also depends on how high Galloway is and how low Zamaja is. If you push Zamaja to 5%, while Galloway's at, I don't know, 25%, and you don't kill him, then you're gonna have a bad day if you're not prepared for kiting Galloway. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Oh yeah, definitely. Also got... go ahead.
If you put him, so if you put Reli on Zamaja, what I found is if you turn Reliquin towards the group before he like as he does right before he does a channel heavy, you see here.
Yes.
Look at where the cascades come from. Like you have a chance of the cascades not hitting the group if you face them towards them. I'm just pointing him away here because I don't think I knew that trick before this video, so I'm facing him away from the group. But if you face him towards the group, you have a chance, like a 50-50 chance of the cascade not even touching the group. So if,
Okay, yeah, because I did see that they kind of split to the side there.
right. Also, Clive mentioned this while we were reviewing Rizolin's video in Cloud Rest. DPS, like when I DPS this place as well, I just back up as he does the heavy attack. That gives me like a second's reaction time to just sidestep the cascades, regardless of where they're coming from.
Yes.
So that's honestly more of a awareness issue, more so than it is where you put the Reliquant issue.
Okay.
Yeah, funny story, I actually had a raid lead blame me because I put Reliquant in a certain place. I'm just like, I know, it's not the positioning that made people bars flop or like run into orbs. So wherever you put them doesn't really matter as long as the group knows where to go. So, do you have any other question about Cloud Rest?
No, not Cloud Rest, but I do have a question because I do also tank Boss Hard mode, and sometimes when the tank healer comes in to blow Warhorn, I get Felm's jump. Like normally I just pop like the Dragon Knight's Magma armor and just live through it. But say I don't have that, like I'm not sure. Besides to move to the left or to the right and get out of the AOE.
That's a group healing. Oh, here's a template healing. Wait, am I still streaming this in Discord? Okay, I am. Okay, so if we watch Styles' perspective, maybe she can explain when she horns. Basically, before Felms jumps, but also when the group is close enough that she can horn.
Yeah, because I want to relay that to the tank healer.
You wanna
I'm
explain?
sorry, I missed it. What's the question?
So his problem is his kite healer in VA's hard mode is horning for the group, but is putting the jump on him.
Oh, okay.
As the main thing. So I'm just pulled up your video as a friend kiter.
So this is on PC, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Asylum Tracker is your friend. If your tank healer doesn't have that, then definitely install it and make the Felm's jump timers very visible. If on console, just for console players in general who might be wondering the same thing, then you would need to look at the Felm's AoEs. For example, if you get 2 Felm's jumps on you, the first one will disappear like a couple seconds before Felm's goes to jump. So if you notice that the first Felm's AoE is gone, then you don't want to run out towards the group during that time, just as an example. So yeah, basically, when my horn is called, I just look at the Asylum Tracker, to be honest. If it says Felm's going to jump in a couple seconds, I'll say to the raid leader, after Felm's, and he knows that means that I'm about to catch the jump. I can't horn right now, but I'll do it as soon as possible. So right there, my horn was called in time just before Felm's, like 5 seconds before Felm's was about to jump. I know that I can get back to my position in time to horn without getting it on the tank. Usually in Execute, I think during this run, and in our runs in general, is where I have to horn at a really awkward time. And it really just depends on how mechanics line up. But essentially, you just want your kite healer to really pay attention to that Felm's timer. And if horn is called like 3 seconds, I would say, before Felms is going to jump, then the tank healer just needs to say after Felms or catching Felms. The horn doesn't have to come like right away, but as soon as possible for sure. So I would definitely prioritize positioning and catching Felms properly over running out and giving the group horn, because that's going to do more damage than it does help the run.
Yeah, and it sucks when when main tank gets it.
Yeah.
If you do get it, you can just stand right outside of it.
I think I've got, yeah, so this horn was actually fine during this run. Felms wasn't jumping, so I just ran right outside of the boss's tail and horn for the group.
Yeah, because sometimes when I do get it, I just pop my Magma and just dodge, throw the swipes, and then step outside if I get a breath.
You see how big this AoE is next turn? If you stand like right outside of it here, he won't move too much at all. Like he'll shuffle forward maybe like half an inch, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So you don't have to Magma and stand in it. You can just back up and stand right on the edge, and he won't move. So that's one thing.
Yeah. I don't think I got a weird horn timing in this run, actually.
Depends on the pace.
Yeah. But yeah, just prioritize catching films over horn, for sure.
I'll relay that to the healer.
Wow, new best score. Shit.
Yeah, after quick run.
Yeah.
Runs are like 10 minutes.
Alright, does anyone else have any questions? I have like 5 minutes. I'll give it 5 minutes. No.
Can we play Uno?
No.
Oh.
No question at all. I mean, we're probably not gonna do this for another, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. We're just trying this out to see if there's interest. Looks like there's some interest.
On your guys' opinion, what is the hardest trials for you guys?
For us, the hardest trials. In terms of what? Clearing or score pushing or
Clearing and score pushing.
Oh man. Depends on the group. Like in terms of mental willpower, score pushing, I would say score pushing VHOF or VAA is probably not. It's not.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of hard, but like in the sense of having the, I don't know how to say it, willpower to sit through it. I don't know. It depends. Like
I guess for me right now, one of the toughest trials that I've personally score pushed with my team was actually VAA, which maybe sounds weird because you think, oh, VAA is so easy, it's a Craglorn trial, whatever. But when you get to the level of score pushing where the only difference between like first and second place is a couple of seconds, like you have to be perfect the whole time, everything like from beginning to end. You can't make a single mistake because if it costs you 1 second, then there's your score out the window. So yeah, VAA for sure. Maybe VAS. I don't know, kinda.
That's okay. Compared to VAA,
VAA, yeah.
VAA and VHOF is probably like 2 of the worst ones in score push.
For
honestly.
like just general, like what's the hardest trial overall? I think it depends on your role, and it might not even be a trial overall is the hardest for X role. Maybe it's just like a certain part of a certain trial. I would say, for me, the hardest trial that I healed during Greymoor was probably Lord Falgrav and Execute, just because of the way we did it. We had like everyone was in Thracian. All of my DDs were in Thracian, and a lot of them were at 20 stacks. I know a lot of groups run 3 healers. We ran 1 like quote full healer, and then I was in like a weird off tank setup with like 30k health and reduced healing power. And oh my god, like Execute for me was always so scary. Like making sure to heal everybody and not have them die. Like just watching people's health dip. Like if I made a mistake, like if I lagged for a second or if I pressed the wrong button for a second, somebody was gonna die. Which maybe sounds weird compared to like other trials, but yeah, I think it depends just on your role in the fight.
I've got a question.
Okay, that's the question.
I've completed all the +1s on VCR,
Okay.
Gallenway, Sororia, and Rally. This week is now +2. I play mainly a Stam DK, as I mentioned earlier. And I try to mitigate stuff with Zogvin, so I don't have to keep popping Barb Trap, and I can put a mitigation skill like the medium armor skill, active skill, I mean, and Vigor. And I feel pretty confident. But what should be something I should be prepared, like to that jump from +1s to +2s, even hopefully eventually to +3 somewhere down the line. What should I be concerned about?
As what, the DPS? So you're Stam DK, right? It's not the class that's the issue, it's the type of class, like stamina. Stamina and Cloud Rest is really rough, so I would expect it to be really rough.
Yeah. So I try to mitigate it with like It's hard. So I would like to use Black Rose Prison, but I know there's a lot of need for range in that trial, because of all the stuff that's like an execute where you have to kind of range it. You can't really sit and go up for it to it. So I'd rather have a bow like a Maelstrom bow in the back bar. So I could run Zockman on like double bow, but even that kills my DPS. I don't know. That could be an option though.
Yeah, potentially. But as for what you're expecting, rough time. For example, well, I don't know what patch it was. Fuck, I'm getting my memories shit. Hodor score pushed Cloud Rest as Stam.
And they all used Brawler and Iceheart.
Yeah,
right.
And the conclusion was it's not worth it. So if one of the best groups in the world says it's not worth it, it's gonna be rough for like mid-tier or average players or average groups. So I would just expect it to be really rough. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all good, man.
As Stam especially, just you're gonna have to pay super extra special attention to mechanics that, for example, will push you out of the stack. Well, not out of the stack, but push you out of melee. For example, if Sororia drops a standard, as a mag person, you can just take a step back and immediately continue your rotation. But as Stam, like, you're gonna be all up in the standard when it's dropped, and it could be spooky. Like if Reliquin does a heavy and you're in melee, you're gonna get clapped.
Well, I've been playing 6 years on this tune, so I'm pretty hyper aware of all the environmental damage because I've even done Maelstrom on it. It was a rough 6 months when I first tried to get it done, but I got it done, and I feel pretty confident in what I do.
No, well, we're not saying you can't do it. Just be
you can definitely do it.
You can do it. You can definitely do it.
Just be ready for a hard time.
Be ready for a hard time. Yeah.
More challenging than mag for sure.
Yeah. All right. That's good. Thank you.
I got another question. So, is Kaji stronger than...
Kaji is what?
Stronger now?
The race.
So, when last patch Grey War, it was very competitive because of Duration. This patch, without Duration, it's like, I think it's between... Okay, so if a High Elf, if it's High Elf / Dark Elf, Kaji is between that and Dunmer. Or not Dunmer, Breton. So, I mean, it's certainly more than viable.
Because
you can still pull really good DPS.
Because I just saw 100k DPS with this Templar Kaji, so I'm like, are they stronger now?
Yeah, that's certainly viable. Could be worth checking out, depending on the setups.
I have a DK Kaji, so I don't know.
I think Orc is better for DK because I ran a couple patches back the Khajiit and I swapped them out to an Orc. Whew, I got like 2k more just for doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, but I did it Kaji because I don't want to like make another character like Mag and Stamina.
What's that
just
for
make
weird?
It like I can use him hybrid, you know.
Cool. Yeah, if it's in your budget, man, why not?
Alright, does anyone else have any questions? Last chance.
Hello, may I ask little noobish questions, not about hard mode trials, just veteran?
Okay, I mean that's, yeah, sure.
We have sort of players, casual group, but stable, and a little it was about subject about Purge. A little, even it's sort of two questions. About purging, is it okay if I'm main tank and I use I'm necromancer, I use self-purging, or it's not okay and I should force my healers to play sort of better?
For what trial, sorry?
Halls of Fabrications veteran.
And this is what boss? The Hunter Killers?
It's usually a lot purging here, but first boss to dinosaurs. Here, important to have purging.
In my experience, all 4 supports will run Purge for that boss.
Yeah, but because they sometimes don't purge me, I use self-purge. It's only one spell, but I just curious, is it ruin my performance much as Necromancer tank? And should I change this situation in group?
So you're asking if you should use a stealth purge instead of like the Alliance War group purge?
Yeah, sort of like this.
I would definitely use the group purge and
Yeah.
not a purge.
So if you look at my stream right now, I'm on a Necromancer tank / support. I actually was thinking to myself too, like, should I use Efficient Purge or not?
Dude.
I would definitely strongly recommend using Efficient Purge, not Hexproof or whatever the self cleanses.
Both of them do the same thing, except Efficient Purge also helps your group.
Right.
And generally, as a support, you always want to make decisions that are beneficial for the group when, like, at all possible.
Yeah. So sustain wise, it is rougher on your mag, but what else are you gonna use for your mag? You know what I mean? On this fight in particular. Because yeah, I mean, it's a huge help for the group. Not necessarily. It's also a huge help for you.
That being said, you do want to make sure that the healers are purging as much as they can be as well.
And the other tank.
Yeah.
In this video, we have only 3 purgers. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Oh, 4. Never mind. We have 4 still. So I think regardless of how you score or how you handle the fight, you probably still want 4 purgers.
So even DDs also sometimes should use Purge.
Shouldn't be necessary.
Should not be necessary, but if you need it.
Yeah, if it's like a prog and like your supports aren't super comfortable with purging it, then yeah, it could be helpful. Like a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, but I know it was like standard practice a while ago to have sort of a 5th purge bot in the group.
Yeah.
Like 1DD, just completely specking with high magicka regen and just purging on cooldown.
I think people still do that for TikTok.
Yeah.
From what I
So. From such things as TikTok, we're a little far away yet. And may I ask one more sort of noobish question also?
Go on.
Thank you very much. We have issues with ultimates regeneration, with major heroism mostly, and minor sometimes. And I don't know, tank has spell to have heroism, but how to fix it? The sets those give regeneration, nobody uses them in trials, and I don't understand why we have so long regeneration for ultimates.
So which fight in particular, or just in general throughout the whole trial?
We have this issue with the ultimate in all trials mostly. In Sunspire, in Hof, we just finished Hof and Sunspire veteran. Others not yet.
And this is ultimate regeneration for your support players, so both tanks and both healers?
Especially for healers, I'd say.
So you want to always make sure as a healer, especially, that you're light attack weaving, because this will generate you ultimate. If you have like a lot of trouble still generating ultimate, you can use minor heroism potions. They're pretty expensive, but that'll definitely help. But usually if you're just light attack weaving and you go through, a 4 Warhorn rotation sort of thing, you should be fine generating ultimate.
Are you wondering how to be calculating when the ultimate should go off?
You want to make sure you're spacing them out as well. Like, you don't want to have people double horning or triple horning or quadruple horning in worst case scenario.
This is emote.
Like, I don't know if you're using it, but you can use Hodor. Are you on PC, by the way?
Oh yeah, we use Hodor, right?
Okay. Yeah, so you use Hodor reflexes. You don't want to be horning on force probably all the time. You want to have like first person horn and then 15 seconds left on the horn, you can have the second person horn, for example.
If you have a video of your ults, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, it could be a combination of a couple different things.
Thank you very much for answers. So now I understand that it's mostly about performance of players and group, and not about something to invent solutions for it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. If you have like gameplay videos, I recommend like watching them back and seeing when horns are being used and when ults are being used in general, and like making sure people are light attack weaving and stuff.
Yeah. Have people activate their and share their horn progress or their ulti progress, so yeah, I can call it out when you need to. And yeah.
Well, if no one else has any questions, we'll end it here.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you guys, we'll try this. We'll try this again in another 2 weeks. Wait, what's another 2 weeks? Is that Halloween?
It's close to it the day before.
The day before. Okay, that's fine. People should be able to make it. Well,
Like,
actually, what's a good day? I don't know. Well, we'll announce it, but we'll try and do this maybe every 2 weeks if there's enough interest. It just didn't seem like we got a lot of videos, or even any video, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna make videos.
Yeah, if you guys want advice like this, videos help a lot.
I sent you one directly, Nafaz, like my Twitch, and I uploaded it just recently. My rotation, I sent it to you directly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have mentioned this one. Okay, I'll bring this up next week or in 2 weeks.
No worries. Okay. Yeah, it's just all my rotations, and
let me watch this.
Yeah. It's gonna play a little. Oh, actually, it stops because I have only the games sharing. Yeah, so the first rotation is advancing with what is it? Black Rose Prison, Masters, and stuff like that, and some music in the background. You can mute it. Yeah. So how I go about it? Yeah, it's kind of hard. I don't even know how to explain it.
Why did you run in?
I just do because I want to. I feel like whenever I'm in the game, and that's what we do. So yeah, I'm using poop rocks, rending, and the stuff in the back, the spiders. Yeah, I talk about the spiders too, why they could potentially hit harder, depending if somebody's interest is on them, and then actual raid.
Your ult is really late. You ideally want to have.
I didn't want to build it. I just kind of went for it, and all the rotations were like that.
You ideally want to have standard at the start.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have bumped my DPS at least 2 or 3k higher. I ended this one, I think, at 86 or 87.
Also,
maybe 85.
instead of the whip.
Yeah, I'm using the Seething Fury.
You know, Shadow Silk. Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Probably don't do that.
I use it for Black Rose Prison. What would you recommend, if anything?
Endless. Well, I guess you're doing double deal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just skip it. Don't have anything there. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Also, instead of whip in the front bar.
Yeah, I'm Seething Fury on both ends, so it never drops.
Nah. I would do like Camel Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do it sideways on the dummy or behind the dummy.
Well, yeah, but that's not gonna work on the Atro.
What? Yeah, it will.
The Minor Berserk?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Other than that, I don't know about the spiders, man.
Oh yeah, the standard is just bullshit. Like, I didn't even work through it. So the second rotation is my Maelstrom bow, and it actually, the first one hit 85k. The second one was with Deadly Maelstrom, Masters, and Perfected Rally, and I got 87. I didn't build ulti either. It's interesting that it would hit harder. I know that at the end, the way I finished was a lot more efficient.
One thing I want to point out though, you lie attack before you swap. Just swap after.
Light attack?
Yeah, you lie attack before you swap. I would just swap at that point.
What do you mean?
From
when
bow.
you swap back?
You lie attacked, endless hail. Oh, I guess you missed the lie attack, but you did a lie attack right before the bar swap? I don't think it's really worth it. Just bar swap. Get back to your rotation.
Let me see. I light attack before the endless hail.
And then you lie attack again before you bar swap. This bar swap.
I'm popping the Eagle Eye or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
so up to 4.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'll just
yeah,
bar swap.
so I know that if you bar swap and you don't have to light attack, you just drop the endless hell, and I've parsed higher. I agree with that, But I thought if I try to stack those eagle or whatever eyes, the 5 of them, then it would hit harder eventually. So yeah. And then the rest is just Maelstrom, that dagger, the dot rotation.
If you're gonna do a dot rotation with VME dual wield, consuming trap on the consuming trap would be good.
Oh, this is not that one. This is actually one I created on my own. This is using advancing daggers, action dagger, and then backbar dual wield with Black Rose Prison and the poop rocks. It doesn't hit hard because it's still very choppy. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going with it. But the last one is actually the dot. The last like 3 minutes.
Okay, I see.
And I didn't change CP on this one, so it stuck around. It was rising to 83, but it stopped at 82. Excuse me. So yeah. I know somewhat of another rotation, but I don't know it. Styx has showed it to me, but I don't even know how to go about it yet. I know what weapons I need, but yeah. I didn't show it off here because I didn't want to share his build.
Your minor force uptime seems low.
Which is that one again?
Trap.
That's the trap, yeah.
Yeah, you're missing.
Oh yeah, it is low. So I alternate between Flames of Oblivion and Barb Trap, so that I can continue proccing the dots. So I alternate between them. I don't actually proc them like back to back. So yeah.
Yeah, minor. You need to keep a minor force if you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Alright. Well, thanks for.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing the video.
Yeah.
And, the people who share their videos anyway. The rest of you, very quiet. I don't bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
bring
if
more
anything,
videos next time.
don't be like afraid to share your progress or where you're at. That's the only way you're gonna get better. Like even I, who've been playing a while, still want to get better, and that's why I come here to see what other people's thoughts are on it.
Same.
Yeah.